Without these and without you, none of this is possible. They might have booed you when you came out here, but they respect you. Everyone in this business respects you because for 40 years, you have given blood, sweat, tears, and sacrifice to this business. Yeah, give it up for Regal. You love this business. And that's why I just wanted to say, from the bottom of my heart,
oh God! What is wrong with him?
Guys, this is too much. I don't know what to say.
I do. We got one question, my dog. How you feeling?
I gotta say right now, I am feeling pretty freaking oozy, baby! We doing it?
The Top of Wrestling with your hosts, OGM and the Professor.
Good shit. Late to every episode. Late so much, I'm going to have to buy you a pregnancy test.
Bob Roode.
I want to be a podcaster. Yay! His mama named Kenta. I'm going to call him Kenta.
Dynamite drop-in, Monty. That broadcasting school is really paying off for you.
You're so high you don't even know it.
Ahoy, my boy. You ready for a Scotch ad?
We don't know anything about him. The only thing he's got in his wallet is a bunch of names of whorehouses. That's Flair.
Probably look like Jim Duggan digging the tape out of his crotch.
Benoit, enjoy my wife.
That's a bold statement, Cotton.
Oh my God, mine just stopped recording. No, we're good. We're still recording.
What a dick.
I'd cease and desist me. I'd cease and desist me hard.
I need a minute to recover off that.
What kind of game is it?
War Games! Let a war! War Games!
You are impressionist.
Yeah, I know. That's the only thing I've said in the last half hour.
Bark like a dog.
Oh, Jinx, holy shit. How did that actually happen?
Here we go.
Good Wrestling Day! It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. It's the Top of Wrestling podcast, and we're back for the lucky number 13th episode of the never-ending Season 5. I am the Professor Mark Fantasia, welcoming you as always, and we appreciate you listening, subscribing, liking, and sharing, whether you're on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Pandora, Amazon, Podbean, Spotify, and iTunes. Tried to go backwards, and I fucked it up. Ladies and gentlemen, it's ODM.
Oh, you were finished. Will allow me to retort. What does Tiger Queen look like?
What?
What ain't country I ever heard of? They speak English and no, we're not going to do the whole bit right now.
We have done that before.
We have done it before, yeah.
Ah, I love that you bring that up. Excellent. Perfect way to get things going. So, as you all remember, last week I laid the challenge down, career versus career in the draft, and we sent that show with a pretty little bow on it, and that bow being him as our logo.
Sort of.
With busting a nut on his shirt, by the way. Just a great show last week. Just have to say that. The show, it is just better than busting a nut. But Tiger Queen says that he is not going to do the career versus career. He is in this draft for life. And I'm like, it's really funny, man. You're running the draft and you were in last place. Again, as we said, the girl who didn't even give a shit and gave up halfway through the draft beat you. And you're also a wrestler. So here's the thing. I got to be honest. I sent it to you on the side. I don't care if he's listening right now. I do not care. I'll say it with as much respect as possible. But, bro, your website's trash, and I think I'm not going to be in next year's league just because of that alone. I couldn't sign up on my phone. If I cannot do it on a mobile fucking phone, an iOS phone, a regular smartphone, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I not to, kayfabe pal here. I did have a little side conversation with him, basically saying the same thing. Not necessarily about not quitting. Now, I did launch it on my laptop, and it was perfectly fine using the invite he sent. Why it doesn't work on a mobile phone, I have no fucking clue. I did tell him it was trash, though. And I was like, listen, man.
Straight trash. Like paragraphs are hanging over into pictures accidentally, so you can't read some of it. It's just so many random tabs. I'm like, it looks like your desktop. Yeah. Like what a desktop would look like, except it's a published website that you said, here, everybody, let's do this for the league next year. I'm not in. I don't know. If I can't even do it on my phone, it's because I don't really get on my computer as much. Only I do it for work, but it's a pain in my ass.
Right, but then again, what do you need to go on there for? The draft's just going to be a regular, messenger call.
That's where they're posting scores and everything from now on. They're getting rid of all the Facebook stuff. That's
I'll tell you what the scores are then.
Oh, you'll tell me that in second or first. Okay. All right, well, maybe that'll work. All right. I'm going to be like, you know what? I'm signing up under ODM. I'm just with him.
Dude, don't give him any ammunition.
We're his and her account like on...
Yeah, don't not play. Just, you know what I should do? Yeah, well, he said he's going to shut the page down, but what I'll do is I'll tag him on Facebook with the scores, and I'll tag you too.
But dude, what I'm saying is this would be perfect. I think it'd be great if we do it like whatever your name of your account is. It's ODM and Midcard. It's like a joint
page.
Facebook.
There you go.
We're not cheating on each other. Facebook page.
I like it. We just call it the Top of Wrestling.
Done. That's what we are. All right, let's talk real stuff before people stop listening. This week we got some news. We have bringing to the table. We have a personal favorite wrestler of the week. This week's top topic is going to be a fun one. I even prepped by playing some wrestling, because this week we're going to be talking the top video games in wrestling history, as well as, of course, the Monday Night Wars. We have the In Your House D-Generation X pay-per-view and Monday Night Wars to follow along right after. All right, ODM, what you got for news?
Well, I'll start with the first piece of news that I put in there just because I thought it was relevant to today's top topic. But CM Punk is to remain in the AEW Fight Forever game, so that is very promising. I'm sure it's something that's going to make both of us happy. And I can't wait to talk later about the top topic and how it relates to the new upcoming AEW Fight Forever video game. Not a sponsor.
It'll be really funny to talk about like the early years into what 2023 will look like for a video game. It's mind-boggling with the amount of research I did into this. I'm not kidding with you. It's been a while since I've had to put a whole lot of elbow grease into some of the research that I did. Easily 4 hours worth of working on the entire setup with video games and consoles and everything. So I'm excited to talk about that.
Nice.
Yeah, I don't know. With a lot of people are 50-50 on how the Bucks have been or the Elite with their antics on Dynamite, aiming towards Punk, the biting of the arm, things like that, the buckshot lariat, the mess up one, mocking Punk's version against Adam Page. And even I was like, okay, maybe it is a work. I can't tell. I'm kind of back and forth. I don't know, man. I'm still a little weird about the whole thing, but I will say, unfortunately, you were wrong. The Elite won this past week.
Oh, there you go. 50-50 booking at its finest.
Always. Can't wait to talk about my Bring It to the Table. All right. Up and coming news. What else you got?
All right. So, on top of you throwing down challenges, it sounds like somebody else threw down a challenge. So before we get to it, hit the fucking music.
The Bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. Let's go, Buffalo. The
Thursdays in a row. That's
I know,
different.
right?
It's, well, and
In a
even
row?
more so. My girlfriend sucked 37 dicks in a row. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen Clerks 3, nostalgic-wise, worth the see. So, first, I got to say, I don't think I've ever seen, with however much time... What was the score? Give me it again. Do you remember?
24-10.
Okay. 2 touchdowns away, and you could have tied it. With just about 2 minutes left, Bill Belichick, with 3 full timeouts, was like, fuck it. And all of a sudden, the Bills are kneeling. I go, what the fuck? I've never seen Belichick do this. And
Yeah,
my
right?
favorite picture that I got to see was someone holding a sign in New England. Bill Belichick's favorite player, Bill Belichick's number 1 draft for his fantasy league is Josh Allen or some shit like that. And I was like, fantastic.
Yeah, fuck the Patriots.
Good shit. Good shit. But you're right. There was a challenge laid down, and man, I laughed out loud as soon as I heard it. I haven't even revealed it to you, ODM. I said, personally, it would be great if the Bills win the Super Bowl, because what I would like to do is I will personally put myself through a table. But I'm not an idiot. I'm not going to be using the plastic ones that they all use in the parking lot, and everybody dies and goes missing over the top and going head first.
Bounces off.
My cousin Andy and I just talked about it at a party a couple weeks back, and he was like, either everybody undershoots, overshoots, or the table doesn't break, they land on their head. I'm like, look, I have this under control. I know I have it under control, what I'm going to do. But Lil John messages me and says, look, it could be a long shot, but if it comes down to the Super Bowl, Bills versus Eagles, winner puts the loser through a table.
Damn.
Now, I'm like, and I go, fuck yeah, it's a deal. Like 5 minutes later, it occurs to me, I'm outmatched by like 298 pounds, man. Like, he's 7 foot tall. The dude's a goddamn beast. Like, he looks like a fucking wrestler. I'm like, how am I putting him through it? I'm going to have to ask him to stand on a ladder, and I'm going to have to give him the finger poke of doom to put him through the table.
It's going to have to be like Blackman versus Shane. He's just going to
That's
have to
what I'm
fall
saying.
backwards.
But I told him it's on. So if for whatever reason it does actually come down to the Super Bowl, Bills, Eagles, loser's going to go through the table by the winning team's guy. I'm excited.
As much as I'd love to see you go through a table, I hope you don't.
Oh, no, because it'd be the end of the podcast. All right, let's talk about more news.
All right. Roman Reigns was a little bit heated after the War Games match because apparently Owens potatoed him with a slap. Messed up his ear pretty bad. I guess he was had some ringing in his ears. He was a little unhappy about that. Apparently, by the time he got back to Gorilla, it kind of calmed down a little bit. So nothing really came of it. But yeah, apparently he was pretty pissed off about it.
It was an unplanned slap, too.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Speaking of Roman and Kevin Owens, I do have to say, with when we are recording this, doesn't matter. You guys don't need to know. Today is the anniversary of Roman Reigns defending the championship against Sami Zayn on SmackDown. And where we are, it was 1 year later, and 1 year ago, and where we are now with the bloodline, Sami, all of it. I'm like, God, man, just how quick a character change can be. You know what I mean? Like, and last year at this time, in December, Sami's biggest obstacle besides this idea here was making Johnny Knoxville's life a living hell heading into WrestleMania, Royal Rumble, all that stuff. So this is awesome. I can't believe that in 1 year's time, he's the most over guy in WWE. And you wait when he dethrones Roman Reigns. And Roman just faces The Rock for just a one-on-one title. And then we have Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn for the championship at WrestleMania. Boom. Let's go.
No, I still don't buy it. But okay. Speaking of The Rock, I don't know if you even planned that segue, but if you did, it was a good one. There's a meme going around on social media. It's basically The Rock at a 7-Eleven. It's apparently in his neighborhood that he grew up in, and he used to steal Snickers from there all the time. So he bought every Snicker from that 7-Eleven.
Did you watch the video?
More. I didn't even see any video on the post that I saw. It was just a photo of him smiling with all of the Snickers on the table.
Video is fantastic. He goes in and goes, "Hey, man, where are your Snickers at?" I'm like, "Go to the fucking candy aisle." It's like 4 aisles in an entire fucking store. You had to ask the guy where it was at, but I get it. Whatever. And he starts grabbing them all, right? And brings them up to the counter. And he goes, "I want to buy them all." And as he's doing it, the guy is counting and trying to scan and count. And he goes, "I want to tell you, every time I was here when I was younger, for every day for a solid year, I was buying it." And he goes, he doesn't give a shit. He's just trying to keep count. Even Rock roasted himself on it, which was fantastic. But then he turns and goes, "Everybody else, whatever you guys want, go ahead. What do you have?" And people were in line just with like some drinks, food, things like that. And he's like, "Go ahead, it's on me." And he left the entire full grocery bag of Snickers in there and said, if you think someone's going to steal or something like that, offer him one of these. But this is on me for the store. And it was his way of paying back to all the everything that he stole back in the day. I'm like, this is a cool story. And I'm like, what I think is just kind of funny, I'm like, when you add up the amount of it, and I'm like, what if all of a sudden someone just came to him with like a felony arrest? Like, you've kind of fully admitted that you just stole for like a solid year. It's like serial no, I'm kidding. It was kind of a cool thing to watch.
Yeah, you know what the best part is? The store price sold him again anyway. Probably just put him back on the shelf.
Could you imagine? The store clerk gets off the phone, or as soon as Rock leaves, he goes, "I gotta call the manager. That seems kind of weird, man." Whole camera crew, and tells him that. Put him back on the shelf right now. Right now. Leave 5 on the counter. Good story.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Worth a chuckle at the very least. It's The Rock. You can't beat it. We can blow by this one. I threw it in there just for the hell of it. Tegan Knox has returned with her rainbow bright hair, which we haven't seen before. It's like she's aligning with
Crazy Liv Morgan.
Liv, yep. So yeah, she's back. Let's see if that feud between her and Dakota Kai continues. Good stuff from back in the day. I don't know if they should try to revisit it just yet. Let each person find their, Kai is with Kai and Sky in Damage Control, and that's a pretty good thing right now. Leave that be, and kind of let everybody get refamiliarized with Tegan Knox. She wasn't really on the main roster for very long. Who was she tagging with before she got injured again? It wasn't Kai.
Shotzi?
Might have been Shotzi. Yeah, you might be right there. I don't remember. That's how meaningless and how long ago it was.
Right. Agreed.
So moving on. Something that we haven't talked about too much, we certainly touched on it a while ago, is Kota Ibushi. He's been on the outs with New Japan for quite some time. Hasn't really been in ring. A lot of weird shit going on there. But his contract for New Japan is set to expire in January, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens out of that. You think any chance he'll show up in New Japan AEW?
If he's smart, no.
Good call.
You want to know why? Look, I'm going to skip ahead to something. This isn't even written in our news notes, Dynamite, this, that, anything, other than what this weekend is for Final Battle. This past week on Dynamite, or maybe it was the week before, I don't know, whatever. Keith Lee, I just punched the fucking mic trying to slap. Swerve slapped Keith Lee, and Lee left.
Yeah.
Leaving him high and dry. And this coming Saturday, they're going to be tagging with each other at Ring of Honor for taking on a couple of guys. That's my fucking point. You know what I mean? Like, nothing is straight away great booking. Everything is completely turned upside down. So if Kota Ibushi was smart, do not go to AEW. Although, maybe he could go into Noah. I mean, I don't know where he goes from right here. I think if he's on the outs with New Japan, maybe WWE. I could actually see that. I mean, he did do, the Cruiserweight Classic. He's had some matches with more than a giant chunk of the guys on the roster, from Styles to Baylor to Nakamura, might fit in over there.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I wonder what his gimmick would be. Hopefully it wouldn't be, too crazy. But then again, the old man's not in charge anymore. So, yeah, it's certainly a possibility. Interesting to see what comes of it.
Lord Tensai Jr.
Hopefully he doesn't chop you the pee-pee. Okay, moving on to more AEW shit shows. Andrade, we talked about him being off TV. Don't know if this is completely the reason. I'm guessing some of his heat or misusage is part of it. But Andrade has had surgery to repair a torn pectoral muscle. So he's likely going to be out for quite some time unless he goes Super Cena. But we'll see.
Tore titty. Okay.
Yeah, there's a Charlotte joke in there somewhere. I'm just too lazy.
Charlotte is Reed. Never mind.
And then the last bit of news we kind of touched on last week. Dustin Rhodes is announced officially that 2023 will be his last year in wrestling. That headline is kind of misleading because it hasn't really said anywhere explicitly, specifically in Dustin's comments, that he's not going to have anything to do with wrestling. I think
it'll be his last match.
In-ring, yes.
Correct.
Participation. This will be his last year. I would still think he's going to stay with AEW and hold some kind of behind-the-scenes role. And, we've said it before, hopefully as a booker or an agent, that really needs to be taken out of Tony's hands before, and the EVP's hands, before this company goes under, because right now I feel like it's AEW, it's 1999, and there's 1 year left to right the ship. And I can't say I have a lot of confidence in that.
Did you just give me one of the best segues of all time? So on Dynamite this past week, they have apparently written off William Regal. So great segment with MJF turning on him. Even I didn't anticipate it. He has the big Burberry belt, or Burberry big belt, whatever he's calling it. And great, whatever. I was expecting something a little bit different. I was like, he changed the strap. Meh. I was like, I kind of wanted something like just a little better than that. I don't know. Kind of like a Stone Cold belt, The Rock's belt.
Yeah, but it makes sense because it's a scarf.
I get it, whatever. But meh.
It's not good enough, man.
It wasn't for me. No, but the turn was great. Using the knucks on Regal, the way he landed turned into a meme overnight. Funny things of how he's landed. Like, one looks like Homer Simpson drunk on the ground. Peter Griffin hurt. There's a lot of great stuff.
I can see it.
But, a week ago, I was like, dude, he signed on, he came in February. Why would he be out in December? But now the reports have, tripled that William Regal is heading back to WWE. And, wow. If there's ever a time that you don't want to get rid of someone that's a great mind and something that people actually look forward to every week, that sucks. I actually look forward to seeing William Regal on there when he gets out there and doing his thing. But now, where does the Blackpool Combat Club go? Now, where does this MJF thing go? Now he's facing Ricky Starks in a couple of weeks for Winter is Coming. Whatever.
Right.
I have a prediction about it. Tonight is the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. I hope he comes in as a masked wrestler and wins more fucking time.
Keeps the ring.
I hope he does. I hope he comes dressed as Fuego del Sol and no one realizes it's just MJF. You know what I mean? Even if the commentators are like, man, looks like Fuego let himself go a bit. Whatever, I don't care. It would be great. Do it. Anyway, they kicked off Dynamite with Moxley coming to the ring, shrugging his shoulders, dancing around. Boom! Hangman Adam Page returns. No more concussion. And they have a huge brawl all across the arena. So, he's back.
Hooray.
Exactly. Oh, my God. I'm so pissed off with... You'll see it in the logo. I am irritated with Jade Cargill versus Bow Wow. Is he no more... He's not Lil Bow Wow, right? He's just the big Bow Wow.
Well,
he's grown up.
He's regular size now.
He's regular size Bow Wow.
He's the schmedium size man.
Well, it's stupid. I don't like it. I don't want to... Oh, my God. I haven't done it in quite some time. Hit the stupid thing.
Stupid, 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 stupid. Do I have your attention?
It's taken a long time for me to use that bumper. That's how bad this whole thing is. She comes out, oh, I'm wearing dollar bills, everybody. Yay, my titties are draped in hundreds. What does that do about wrestling? What does that do about your championship? What does that do about your fucking undefeated streak? Why are you doing this against a goddamn, I don't know, H-grade rapper at this point? Does he even fucking rap anymore? I don't even know. Does he bow? Does he even bow? Does he wow?
You know you were on a good roll. Keep it up. I'm going to hit you with the booze. Hey, how come we've never thought of this? Jade Cargillberg.
Oh, my God. Done. That's as good as Bob Roode. Jade Cargillberg.
Cargillberg.
Well, that's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, that's gonna be tough.
What's crazy is that I turned Dynamite off when they did a tag team match with Willow Nightingale and someone else versus two other girls, and I go, this brought me to this? Are you shitting me? And they go, and up next, Jade Cargill confronts Bow Wow. I go, done.
Mm-hmm.
Turned off. Because I knew the main event was Death Triangle and Elite. So everything I needed to. I'm good. Except they didn't go 3-0. But doesn't matter. Same match. Same record.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Now the WWE, well, at least let me talk about tonight. Tonight's actually a pretty decently loaded Dynamite. You have Samoa Joe defending his TNT championship against Darby Allin. And you also have that Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. But Acclaimed will be putting their tag team titles on the line against FTR. They're not winning.
Nope.
They're not winning.
Nope.
It
not,
bothers me so fucking bad.
Because you're
Which
fucked.
is funny. Go ahead.
You're fucked because the title should have already been on FTR, and if you decide to do it now, then what was the point of the Acclaimed? You just buried them. You missed the pop when you should have got it, so you went ahead and did it, and then it's all for nothing.
They should have dethroned Swirly. Acclaim never should have had it.
Yep.
I mean, as much as I like the Acclaim having it too. You know what I mean? Like,
Sure.
It was a good moment. I liked it in the moment, but now that I'm in long term, I have to see where it goes to decide if I like the championship idea or the reign. This I don't. Because, yeah, you really painted yourself into a corner, and you screwed FTR over. The only thing I look at it being is that right now, Final Battle is this coming Saturday. Not night. Afternoon. I'll get into that in a minute. And FTR is not on the card yet. So someone's going to come in and screw them. And it'll be for the titles this coming Saturday at Final Battle.
Okay,
that's got to be it. Got to be it.
Yeah.
There's no way Darby wins the TNT title. Joe just turned heel and is on a reign of terror. There's no way they're listening to our show this deep in. I can promise you that's someone you want to take right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think ahead. The guys who are going and just cleaning house and having squash matches every week, for some reason, I think because Joe was off doing, I think it was movie work or video game voiceovers, one or the other.
Oh.
I think he's back, and now he's more dominant than he's been in years.
I love heel Samoa Joe, and I think Allen's a good opponent for him. I think they can have a good match, and Allen can sell all of Joe's offense, get some hope spots in, but ultimately Joe remains dominant. I think that's a good matchup. Hopefully it translates to a good match on TV.
I bet you Darby dies.
Not before Phoenix does. Then again, that's kind of a toss-up.
Man, they should just have a match against each other. Loser dies. Just go to the death.
Live or die, man.
Oh, my God. Ooh, I like that. With the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal, I'm just going to go ahead and say that my guess for the win will be Powerhouse Hobbs.
So this reminds me of there's a Simpsons episode where they do Lord of the Flies. Right? That's the whole episode. The kids are trapped on an island, and they institute their own government, and there's factions and everything. And then at the end, it all resolves, and there's a voiceover, and they're panning away from the island, and it says, and the kids were eventually fined by, I don't know, let's say Mo. That's kind of how I feel about the winner for the Battle Royal. I don't know, let's say Swerve.
It's going to be fucking the guy that just turned heel, Preston Vance.
Oh, no, you know who it's
10.
probably going to be? AR-15 or whatever the fuck his name is.
AR Fox, AR-15. I will say I got to see AR Fox at that 2CW show right before they closed in Syracuse, where I met the Bucks, Omega, and a bunch of the guys, and he jumped off the top of the basketball backboard onto the Bucks and a bunch of guys, because, you know, indies. He's pretty cool. I like him, but yeah, it's, you know, it's funny because it pissed me off. I think it was last week. They go, and as of today, he's officially an AEW member, blah, blah, blah. But then the week before, after he had that trios match, there was an exclusive interview that I saw on Thursday morning, and they were like, and Tony Khan's officially just said that you are now all elite. And I was like, way to keep up on your own history, boys. Can't wait to talk about Bring It to the Table. This coming Saturday is... Oh, wait, I got to go back up. I'm sorry. Let's talk about just WWE for a quick second. Ricochet defeated Santos Escobar in the World Cup Finals. He will be facing Gunther. Sheamus and Drew McIntyre are set to face the WWE Undisputed Tag Team Champions, whoever they may be, after Raw from, I think, earlier this week, as the Usos defended against Riddle and Elias. F me and my A if Riddle and Elias end up winning the tag titles after all of this with the Usos.
The Riddle experiment has failed miserably. You know, I was a big fan. I was really hoping he'd be in a position in the world title picture one day, legitimately. It just hasn't happened, so that's a failed experiment. Sheamus and Drew, I could almost see like being another bar. The bar.
I've said it. I've been calling them as a tag team at least for a while. I'm like, why not put them together? The history they have with each other, it just makes sense. And you're right, it is the next bar. It really could be. Sheamus is, and it's funny because Sheamus would be a part of both of them, but it just goes to show though that he's great singles, but I think he's better as a tag team guy. Shows less weaknesses.
Yeah. Yeah, no, definitely. And, you know, their tag division, we've said it, you know, there's really no good tag divisions anywhere right now. You've got good tag teams smattered about.
Yeah.
Like Titties on Nitro, but.
The best part, first, this was in Buffalo.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The next night, they had a live event in Rochester.
Correct.
And Seth Rollins actually did a tribute, or at least got on the mic and said some things about Brody Lee in Rochester. Cool. Yeah, I thought it was really, really cool. Rich from the radio show actually had put up some pictures, and it showed in that thing talking about Brody Lee. I'm like, damn, if there's ever a time I would have liked to have gone to a live show, that would have been the one right there. That's kind of cool.
And what faction were they in together in Ring of Honor?
Age of the Fall.
Okay. I can never remember that.
Yep, with Jimmy Jacobs. But Sammy not only faced Sheamus on SmackDown, but the Usos it was all about Sammy, because Sammy was trying to talk about how they dominated at War Games, and he goes, it's because we had the tag team champions, and Jimmy goes, no, I told you backstage, it ain't about that, it's about you, because he did, man. A lot of the shit that he did during War Games is the reason Bloodline won. And you already have seen Sammy do his handshake with Jimmy. And I'm sure you probably have seen him do it with Jay now. He did a double one with both of them on SmackDown and then began to dance hysterical. He is killing me, dude. It is like, you can't beat him. He's honest to God, the best thing going in WWE right now. You have to capitalize in some way. Even if you let him win the fucking Rumble, and let's say Rock faces the winner of Roman and Sammy night one. I don't care. Do something with Sammy. Capitalize on him in this moment while you can.
What if, since both of the Usos respect him now, they freebird him in?
Oh my God. That would be fantastic if that happens. And then he ends up losing the title somehow.
There you go.
Oh my God, that's the reason! That's the reason they lose the title. Oh shit. That would be fantastic. And it's funny because they even said, they go, yo, listen to the crowd. You hear him calling you Sammy Uso, and the crowd starts chanting it again. I'm like, that's something I called. I love that.
Go. Yeah, I'm telling you. Yep. Makes sense.
That would be really good, making him the Freebird honorary Uso. God damn, this is like my 4th time punching the mic. I apologize. Anybody listening to
You're that excited.
It's like the son of a bitch. So, all right. This Saturday, you have 2 shows. You have NXT Deadline, which is going to be those Iron Survivor Man 25-minute matches. I'll see what they're like at some point. But at 4 p.m. in Arlington, Texas, for some reason unbeknownst to me, Ring of Honor is having Final Battle 2022. So maybe the earliest pay-per-view on a Saturday for really probably any promotion in a while if it's not in another country.
Yeah, but I mean, it's still. It's a 2-hour difference? So it'll premiere
2
at
hour, 4 p.m.?
4 p.m. in Texas. So it'll be 6
4
p.m.
p.m.
on the West
Eastern.
Coast.
No. It's 4 p.m. Eastern.
4 p.m.
But it's just
Eastern.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it's 2 o'clock in Texas if you want to get real.
Yeah, that is kind of early.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I don't know either. Shows the amount of stock they're putting into this.
Well, that's a different story. Yeah.
Well, again, the women's championship will be decided as Mercedes Martinez, since she had won the championship, hasn't done anything with it. And she's going to be defending against Athena. No build-up, no story. Welcome to Ring of Honor, everybody. Next match will be the only one that has somewhat of a build-up. You have Daniel Garcia defending against Wheeler Yuta. This will be their 19th match. The TV championship, Samoa Joe defending against Juice Robinson. Out of nowhere, but I'm on board just because I know that it'll be good to watch. But the problem is, both are heels.
Yeah, and I think Juice actually just got signed to AEW.
He did.
Officially, yeah.
And the match I was referring to earlier, you break up and be like, well, we still got a match this coming Saturday in Arlington. Swirly will be taking on Shane Taylor and J.D. Griffey, whoever he is. Mm-hmm. But the world title... Well, okay, I'll give you this. Jericho Appreciation Society is all about being sports entertainers. There's nothing more sports entertaining than if you lose, you have to join our shitty fucking group. Because if Claudio loses in this Ring of Honor title match, he has to join the JAS.
It's Cena and the fucking...
Nexus.
The Nexus. Why? Claudio left to get away from that. Oh, that's right, because it's Jericho booking it. Never mind.
Yeah, Jericho wants wrestling to be an Olympic sport, by the way.
It is.
No. He wants professional wrestling to be done. He goes, you judge ice skating, you judge all these things on pairs. Why can't you do it with wrestling? One of my favorite comments that I saw someone write, they're like, because when someone messes up on their figure skating thing in a teams thing, you don't hear the crowd chanting, you fucked up.
Maybe they should.
That would be fantastic. Wow. Brings you back to that Nancy Kerrigan thing. Man, that was a...
Why? So let me ask you this. Why is the fake wrestling, I know it's probably sacrilege to call it that, but let's call it what it is. Why is the worked wrestling, pro wrestling, and the wrestling where you actually have to know technique and you're not working with your opponent, that's a shoot, is amateur wrestling?
Great question. So which begs the question even more, why is the professional one not in the Olympics? You allow the amateur one.
Why don't they make the whole plane out of the black box?
Man, I don't think I understand that reference. Let's go to the table.
Just bring it, bitch! Oh my God!
I've been teasing this throughout the entire first 30 minutes here. Kind of fed up, obviously, with AEW. I'm so glad there's so many other options when it comes to wrestling and other promotions and territories because, dear God, just when we thought we struck gold with AEW, we're like, we can't go wrong. Look at it. And do you know what it's brought me to do? See eye to eye with Booker T.
Shucky ducky. Quack, quack.
Dude, see the other day? He believes that AEW will be closed in 2 to 3 years. And I said that shit, I think, just about a couple of weeks ago. I said, I give him 3 years now at this point, because you had said it too, I think, or we both said it. But now, here's me, I'm like, he's just sucking the tea to WWE. Nah, maybe he's a realist. Maybe he's a realist. You know, it's the the honeymoon phase, right? We had the first 2 years. Nothing was technically wrong with AEW, but then you had the pandemic, right? And things like that, and you're like, you have grace. But then when you have fans and everybody back and you're doing this booking, it's gone to shit. Last good show that they actually did, I gotta be honest, and not tooting it because I was there, but top to bottom was Revolution. Double or Nothing had some shit. That's where our what's his name? Super Freak. The GIF was born. Rick James. That was born, you know, because of Double or Nothing, because of how much dumb shit was happening.
It was
all
terrible.
Out. I fell asleep for more reasons than another. But then, you know, it hasn't been fantastic, man. And it used to be. But I'm actually seeing eye to eye with Booker T. You keep this booking going, you keep that mentality where you're allowing the elite to be childish as fuck, then you're screwed. You're screwed.
Yeah, I could see by 2025 it just being another indie company with no TV deal. They'll have the biggest budget out of any indie wrestling company, but they'll have no TV.
It'd be just another Impact or Ring of Honor.
So why don't they just form, like, instead of having a wrestling company, why doesn't he just buy a TV, like an internet channel on YouTube, and just have all your wrestling there?
Because he has a lot of money.
Yeah, that's true.
He wants to. He's deep down. He's trying to be Vince McMahon.
Oof.
Well, look what he did with the day that Vince was done and retired. And he goes, "I'm the longest running promotion leader now." I'm like, you dick. That was the stupidest move you could have done. It's not even funny.
No. Nor is he a good
All right,
booker.
you bringing anything good to the table?
I am. There is on the Peacock has a new documentary on Teddy Hart. So I want to read this. Yeah, I see you're shaking your head already.
WTF LOL thought he was dead. Sorry.
WCFLO.
No, never mind. Just move on.
Okay. You lost me there.
That's fine. I'll do that more later.
3-episode series. It's called Dangerous Breed. Crimes, Cons, Cats. You got to love a title like that. Apparently a filmmaker spends a year... Okay, so this is the tagline. A filmmaker spends years documenting controversial wrestler and cat breeder Teddy Hart. But the project is thrown into chaos when Teddy is accused of wrongdoing. As Teddy defends himself, his protege and ex-girlfriend Samantha Fiddler disappears. Fiddler was a 29-year-old wrestler, mother of 3, missing since November 19th, 2016. Hart hasn't been charged with her disappearance. It's become a cold case. For those of you who don't know, Teddy Hart is Edward Annis, member of the Hart family. Stu Hart is his grandfather. He was signed to WWE when he was 18 years old. Youngest wrestler to ever have a contract with the promotion. Not surprising. Part of the Hart family. But he was dropped several years later and did not appear on the main roster. Since then, appeared in several independent promotions. But he focused on running a cat breeding business. I don't know if that's like big cats or house cats. Either way, kind of weird.
Is it a euphemism?
I don't
breeding
think so.
pussy.
No, I got you. You didn't have to say it. It was pretty obvious. Jesus Christ. Like WWE, you got to spoon feed the joke. Get it, pussy?
Wait, what's the name of the show?
Who gives a shit? Talk about the wrestler of the week. Fuck.
You know, a lot of people think history is just facts. It's just information about the past. I know a lot of people like to believe that. I wish I could, but I was there. I wasn't here in the classroom, hoping I was right, thinking about it. Well, pussies like you, we're back here partying, putting headbands on, doing drugs, listening to my goddamn Beatle albums.
Hey, Professor, take it easy, will you?
Oh, come on, man. I wasn't that ready to be going into Wrestler of the Week. You threw me
Well,
off here.
guess what?
All right, here we go.
You're up.
You are up. All right. Look at. Boom. 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 Kofi Kingston. Look at
Stupid.
That's very fitting. Jesus, that's really fitting. And we're going to get to that, man. Wait till 2009. when I first watched Kofi, immediately I was a big fan of him. First time I saw him was in ECW's, or WWE's ECW version. Real name, Kofi Nahaji Serdoki Menasa. I tried everything I could to get that as best as I can. But he hails from, as we all know, Ghana, West Africa, and also Kingston, Jamaica, whereas I think the Kofi Kingston comes into play. Did a little bit of independence in early enough. He was in a lot of the the Eastern Wrestling Alliance, the Chaotic Wrestling, so some of the local indie areas, which are in New England, upper areas in the upper areas of the United States. But obviously, as I said, getting into WWE, first thing they do, start giving him not only vignettes as the guy coming in from Jamaica. They said, you are going to have a Jamaican accent. Took a couple years to shed that off and get a full-blown American accent. I gotta say, he sounds really good. You would never have thought that he had a Jamaican accent. One of the best things, I don't even know what year it was when Triple H goes, wait, didn't you used to have a Jamaican accent? On Raw, calling him out. It was fantastic. At least they had some fun with it. But, just like everybody else, when you first get in the WWE, you're going to toil around in the mid-card. And, first getting his spots in the early years in the Money in the Bank at WrestleMania 24, 25, winning the Intercontinental and the U.S. title early on, and as well as being under the wing of CM Punk, they won the Tag Team Championships together. And, he's kind of one of those guys that bounced around, again, in the mid-card, both on Raw and SmackDown. Every time there was a draft, he was pretty much the one being drafted. I got to be honest with you. I always get a little pissed off when I think about this, but in 2009, as I already referenced, he begins a feud with Randy Orton, and it was going great. For me, as a guy who was a Kofi Kingston fan, I was like, this is awesome. And then in November at Madison Square Garden on Raw is the very infamous putting Randy Orton through a table in the crowd with the air boom or the air, what is that? I don't boom leg drop, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, it was fantastic, and it began an awesome feud, and he was feuding with Randy, messing up his car. He had like a NASCAR that someone had gifted him, feuding with the rest of Legacy. And then Kofi was supposed to sell or get ready for a punt. Kofi stood up and thought he was about to take an RKO. Wow. What an accident. What a shit. Goddamn, he accidentally got up to do your other finisher. And I get we're trying to sell the punt as a very lethal thing. But we already got that Randy Orton's pretty fucking psycho at this time. At this point, he has already knocked down Triple H and Stephanie and kissed her while she's unconscious. That's real fucking shit. We don't need him to have one more punt to someone's head. But because he did that, that completely fucked Kofi's career, gives him the RKO, and says, what?
Oh, you don't want to put the bumper in there? I thought you wanted to put the bumper in there.
The bumper is now.
You know what?
All right.
That was a really stupid move by myself.
The problem is that he, again, now he's put back down to the mid-card. And he had a good spot, good thing going for him. It was actually, he beat Randy Orton at that Survivor Series in November. And it was a big streak that Randy had going where he was always the sole survivor for his team at Survivor Series for several years, and then Kofi's the one that stopped it. The momentum was there. Sucks. Then he ends up having the tag team with Evan Bourne, Matt Sydal. Well, Matt, after they end up winning the tag team championships, things are going pretty good. They're riding sky high. Evan Bourne was riding sky higher because he was really getting into Spice. K2. He thought, well, they can't catch me if I'm smoking the fake stuff. They got him on one wellness problem, and no bullshit, like within 2 weeks later, got a second one They dropped the titles to Primo and Epico. And now Kofi, just out of nowhere, now he's going to be starting the tag with R-Truth. We'll just put you with someone else for now. One of the biggest things that we all know is not only is he very agile, athletic, he did some really cool things for some ladder matches and Royal Rumbles until it was too much.
It got beat to death for sure.
9 toes are on the floor. This pinky one's not there. I gotta go one more. It's just too much. I don't even need to explain the ones that are ridiculous. I will say, the one walking on his hands, thought it was cool. Landing on a table and onto the barricade, that's another. But it all caught up to him. I think actually one of them recently, he went to jump last year back from the barricade over and missed it. And ended up going out. And I was like, boom, there you go. That's why you don't do that anymore. And it looked like he was just going to be sitting in the mid-card for quite some time. And to the dismay of the Big Show, forms a group with Xavier Woods and Big E. Big Show tells him, you don't want to do this, man. That's going to be a career suicide. What you guys are about to do, just don't go with it. And Big Show admitted years later he was dead wrong. Because we all wanted Nation of Domination 2.0. Because let's go back to Xavier Woods' fucking promo. The way he came out, and he's like, you guys are getting down on the black man, or something like that. I don't know. I don't know. But whatever it was, we were like, oh shit, this is going to be a good thing. And then they come out dancing just like fucking, what's that guy? The big dinosaur. The one that came out is a disco dinosaur. Brodus Clay. Basically what they did, but it was the power of positivity. But it pissed people off so much, especially with the New Day rocks. The more they chanted stupid shit like that, you had the crowd saying New Day sucks. But the problem is, they were too funny sometimes in the ring, or you couldn't deny the athletic ability as them as a freebird tag team. And they stayed true to it. And they became the longest reigning tag team champions all the way up until just like 3 weeks ago. And I'm glad that they're not anymore, or I just didn't want them to win another tag team championship. I think I was kind of over that. Why? Because 2 out of 3 of your New Day members have now been a world champion. So I don't think that you need to get back into the tag team scene anymore. But one of my favorite things, honestly, did come from 2017. They had a tremendous feud going with the Usos. They had a SummerSlam match. They had the Hell in a Cell match. The SummerSlam match was done in front of half of a Barclays Center because, for whatever reason, they shouldn't have put it on the pre-show because the match was fantastic. And they tore it up. The pre-show match was better than nearly the entire 2017 SummerSlam card.
And the Hell in the Cell match was fantastic, too.
Oh my God, so many awesome. My favorite spot is the kendo stick hanging out of the cage and throwing someone directly at it where it clotheslines them. I was like, how has that never been done before? That was awesome. They're very smart. They're innovative. Putting the Usos in with the New Day was perfect because they were so over as faces. It gave the right rub for the Usos to be the heels, the ones that, we've been down since day one. We've been here, and now that we're the ones. I mean, everyone's they are the shit. They've always been legendary. Well, when they turned heel, people were kind of 50-50 on it. I really do feel this feud with the New Day completely helped the Usos become who they are today. But my absolute favorite singles feud for Kofi Kingston comes from, of course, becoming WWE champion. The entire ride to it, from the Royal Rumble, didn't matter, but trying to win at the Elimination Chamber and nearly beating Daniel Bryan. And then not only does he have to run a huge gauntlet, but then so does his tag team, the New Day, have to run a gauntlet. And they fought for their brother. And I don't know why. I swear to God, I'm getting freaking goosebumps from it because the storyline was just so excellent. And they finally got him there, and it was Kofi Mania. Never seen a pop like that at WrestleMania for a win since. Was unbelievable. I was jumping up and down. Like, there was one of my favorite guys of all time, and now he's won the big one. It was huge. Had some feuds again, reigniting the stupid feud with Randy Orton. And then even having a feud with Samoa Joe, AJ Styles. And then SmackDown premieres on Fox. What should our main event be? Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar. Well, it's 9:53. There's only 7 minutes left. Oh, there's time to celebrate? Okay.
I think
dude still hasn't gotten a fucking rematch.
Yeah. I don't know what to say. I think Wheezy was over here, and I was like, "Yeah, watch this. This dude's gonna lose in 3 seconds. Watch."
Yep.
Fucking 3 seconds.
It was horrible, and it really did start at like 9:53 or not. Like no one even made their entrance yet, and I was like,
"Why do you? Yeah,
are they planning to go over?"
Yeah, why do you think when I do the wars, I notice when the main event comes on, I'm like, "There's 2 minutes left. What's gonna happen?"
Good night, folks.
Yeah, exactly.
And he does get back into the tag team division again with the New Day, and not a bad thing. Problem is, just going to stay right in that mid-card area, and I think, unfortunately, probably going to be where he's at from here on out. But what I didn't expect was actually seeing Big E become the world champion, so it was cool for him to be a part of that whole thing too. And the New Day has been cursed recently in a bad way. They're not in a good way, obviously, but Xavier was hurt, Kofi was hurt for a bit. Now, obviously, Big E's big injury with his neck. They've not had a good last couple of years. Kofi, I could maybe see Triple H putting him back into a world title picture against, let's say, Roman for a match or two, or someone like that. But I don't think that we're going to get much out of Kofi in the main event picture anymore.
Nope, agreed. I think that ship
and
has
that
sailed.
Sucks. I will tell you, one of my favorite things about doing this is always talking about the accomplishments, the goals, the accolades, and of course your championships. I did think it was pretty cool that CBS Sports called it the best moment and angle of the year was Kofi Mania. Thought that's kind of cool because it
was very organic. The crowd definitely demanded it. The only thing I didn't like was Vince playing the heel GM and just kind of stopping him and putting him down. It was over the top. You didn't need that. I think it was inherent that he wasn't looked at as being a main eventer. And, it was another Daniel Bryan moment. So, it was fitting that he got to face him for the title.
But this one, at least they recognized, and they did have that B-plus player mentality going with it. But Triple H was feuding with the guy who was singing the Spice Girls song, Batista. Tell me what I want, what I really, really want. I still love that one. That was a terrible fucking segment.
I forgot about that. This is what I want.
Tell me what I want. You know what I want. What I really, really, really want. I want a match with you at WrestleMania 35. I didn't even practice that. That was pretty decent. But, all right, he was a WWE champion 1 time, an Intercontinental champion 4 times, a U.S. champion 3 times, 6 times Raw tag team champions, 1 with Evan Bourne, 1 with R-Truth, and 2 with Xavier Woods and Big E, and a SmackDown tag team champion, all 7 times with the New Day, because New Day rocks. Sorry, I had to at least do it once.
Yeah, that's cool.
And and also a world tag team champion with CM Punk, because there was all these different types. You had the WWF, you had the world, you had WWE at their finest booking for you. And I always like to leave everybody with a newbie match of the week. If it's your first time watching Kofi, come on, man, you can't go wrong. Just watch him win the title against Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 35. It's just, the match is great. The story buildup is there. Just probably one of the very last big long feuds or big buildups that they've done, or like storyline wise, that actually met it came to fruition in a really good way in a very long time. The bloodline's there, but I have to see the ending, kind of like the championship reign, like we taled about earlier. I got to see what the ending is. It's a good-looking suit, but I haven't put it on yet. I don't know what it's going to feel like. It was kind of a weird transition. Let's just go to the wars. Suck it.
Boo!
Marty, you've got to come back with me.
Where?
Back to the future.
Wait a minute, Doc. What are you talking about? What happens to us in the future?
What, we become assholes or something?
Give me a hell yeah! You want a war? You're gonna get one.
Mick Foley is going to win their world title.
Has been paid for by the New World Order. Come on, Vince. Step into the ring.
My God, the battle lines have been drawn! D-Generation X invades WCW tonight!
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Have a nice day! We got you! Oh yeah!
So what I'm going to do, Rock, is I'm going to forfeit the damn title to you tonight. What? Because I got bigger fish to fry. So go ahead and take the damn thing because I don't want it no more.
Rocky's somewhat apprehensive.
Take it.
Huh?
Take it.
Apparently,
Take it.
Apparently the Rock is a new...
Ladies and gentlemen. Shut up. Shake my hand, champ.
Never leave a nugget in the toilet. You gotta flush it. Welcome to Monday Night Wars. Here we go.
All right. December 7th, 1997, In Your House, D-Generation X. Got JR and Lawler on commentary. They mentioned 4 titles on the line tonight. We're starting with the new light heavyweight title match. It's going to be Brian Christopher versus Taka Michinoku.
Oh, I was like, do they even have 4 titles? But okay.
Brian Christopher goes face first on the barricade, takes that bump, but split his lip wide open. He was bleeding pretty good. He was selling it great, too. They're both on the floor. Lawler checks on Brian, starts wiping his face a little bit. And Jim Ross says, man, he's just like a little league parent. That's a nice little line right there. Taka rolls out of the way from a top rope leg drop, and he gets the pin. Briscoe and Patterson present the title. We got a lot of photographers in there, and there you go. We got a new champ.
Not the last time we're going to be seeing the Stooges coming up soon.
Yeah, this is we're going into prime Stooge territory over the next year or 2 or 4.
Can't wait. Yo, I'm not going to be kind come to the wars.
It's not like one of them's going to win a title or anything. Oh, wait.
I kind of like when he won the 24/7 title and he all quietly
the one finger pin.
Yeah. I won.
Los Boricuas versus DOA in a 6-man tag. Boricuas win.
Notice it was a 6-man tag because Crush is gone,
and they don't sell. They don't sell it at all. They kind of just gloss over it.
Nope. Got taken out by Kane. Done.
He went back to his home planet. Next, you get Doc Hendricks with Butterbean and team. Butterbean had a fight the night before and won. So that was interesting. And you get Cole with Sable. She was at the fight. She was at the Butterbean fight and was holding up a title during that match. Mero runs in and says, I didn't give you permission for this interview, trying to steal my spotlight. So we had
or
right
domestic
into
violence.
It's funny. She's always wearing sunglasses. I wonder why. It's Mero.
Oh my God! I've never caught that. Yo, I swear to God, I never caught that she's always wearing sunglasses. That is so fucked up. I hope that was a subtle joke on someone's writing backstage. Like you got to wear the sunglasses. We're never gonna call them out, but you got to always wear sunglasses.
You know what to say with a woman with 2 black eyes?
Nothing. She's been told twice.
You gotta take it. You can't.
What'd you say?
Never mind. We're just gonna gloss over.
Just we're rolling. Go ahead. We're good.
It's Mero versus Butterbean tough man fight. 4 2-minute rounds. If it goes the distance, the ref will decide the winner. It's my first note was this is going to be a shit show, and it pretty much was. Butterbean was going easy. You get Sable chance. Mero keeps going for the ropes. He does it, but Bean clips him. Mero falls to the floor. Big pop. At the end of round 1, Butterbean's heading back to his corner. Mero donkey punches him. Beginning of the second round, he chokes.
Oh, that's a different thing.
It's completely. I mean, it's applicable in both scenarios. Just there's one thing missing from this particular instance, which probably for the better. Don't know that they could.
There's one big dick in the ring, though.
Butterbean gets blinded at some point. Apparently, Mero was still able to rake the eyes even with boxing gloves on. Mero starts getting some shots in, weak ones at that. And then at the end of round 2, he drop kicks Butterbean from behind. And then Butterbean starts doing his Rocky impersonation in round 3. Come on, hit me, hit me, hit me. And
come on, chump, you ain't so bad.
Pretty much. Butterbean gets the knockdown at the end of the 3rd. Mero saved by the bell. They have to splash water in his face. They sold that. The crowd popped. And then he gets knocked out at the beginning of the 4th round. Mero hits a low blow, though, before the count hits 10. It's a DQ. And Mero tries several times to break the stool from the ring corner over Butterbean's back. Mero powders. Butterbean throws his mitts at him, which I thought was pretty cool because he nailed him with one of them.
And by stool, you don't mean a chair. You mean like one of Butterbean's actual pieces of stool. Like, it was hard to break. It was like a whole fucking lumber tree. No, but for real, this was probably the most staged fight I have seen since Mayweather-Logan Paul.
Yeah.
I hated it, every second of it. Honest to God, I'm a fucking boxing fan. I hated every second of watching this. And the only reason I did it is for you. Well, let's see the Monday Night Wars, man. Yeah, great. Now I got to watch stupid shit from here on out for the next 4 fucking years. This is going to be great.
Pretty much, yep. Hey, I don't like being committed.
But next, you get to bring new things to light, like why someone's wearing some sunglasses. She gets beat. I got it.
Again, WWF force feeding. Sometimes you don't need to say it. You get it? Because he was beating her up. Jesus Christ.
You're right. No more force feeding.
Luna Vachon and Goldust come out to the ramp. Luna tells the crowd to shut the hell up. Goldust says Goldust is going to express himself in verse. Goldust says, this is a little ditty I wrote when I was a child. I'd like to share it if you could all shut up for a minute. And he reads Green Eggs and Ham. Then Jim Ross says, sorry, Dr. Seuss. Luna shoves Goldust to the ground and drags him to the back. I want my 3 minutes of my life back.
You can't even describe what he's wearing. It's like when you tell a 4-year-old, go ahead, pick out whatever you want to wear. And they come out wearing like 6 different costumes. It was horrible.
I didn't even bother trying to describe it. Once I saw it, I'm like, I can't. I'm going to have to pause it and look at it for 20 minutes just to try to put
He's gold dusting.
He's gold dusting Luna. Yeah, something like that. Cole's backstage with the Legion of Doom. Tell him, Hawk.
Well,
they remind the New Age Outlaws, Road Dogg, and Badass Billy Gunn remind me of a deeply embedded booger lodged high in my right nostril. Nice analogy.
Oh, what a booger.
Ooh, what a booger. What in the actual fuck was that? Please tell me you were high, because that would have, at least...
I'm pretty sure that's what I'll say. I mean, like, it's Hawk. Again, please watch Behind the Scenes 1985 Great American Bash on YouTube. You see him headbutt shit, and then go to the sink over and use some water to wash out his nose, and keeps going. Hawk, yeah, he did a little bit of he did cocaine is what I'm. Oh fuck, that's more force feeding shit.
Again, yeah. Best part about the video is Sting just sitting there like, I ain't a snitch.
Yo, he was just he was kind of like the CM Punk. He just chill, let them all do it all. But then
everybody else is doing.
But
cocaine.
then tell me what happens in 3 weeks at Starrcade '97.
Hey, pills are different than cocaine. Pills are good. Pills are good. Anyway,
check, please.
That's not the last thing he said. I mean, if you count the.
I do need to tell you, we are not condoning that pills are good, ladies and gentlemen. If that's what you heard from this segment,
there's a lot of things we say that you should not pay attention to.
80 to 90%.
Pretty much. Legion of Doom versus New Age Outlaws for the tag titles. Road Dogg says, "Welcome to Jurassic Park." because LOD are dinosaurs.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're not force feeding, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. LOD chases him up the ramp. They go behind the curtain. They come back out. It happens again, but this time the Stooges stop him, force him back to the ring. At one point, Road Dogg pulls out what JR called an ice chest. It was like a Coleman cooler full of ice, and just hit Hawk in the head with it. It was full of ice, and it was under the ring. Guess the ring crew wanted to make sure they had some refreshments.
Well, I mean, Hornswoggle at that point was probably 6 or 7. I mean, being McMahon's son. So, he's probably under there with a couple drinks.
Forced him to live under the ring with a cooler.
Couple of Capri Suns.
Yeah, Capri Suns, yeah. Little jugs. Bug juice. All right. Anyway, Henry Godwin runs in at the end, hits Animal with the bucket while the ref's distracted, so he doesn't see that. But by the time the ref turns around, Hawk has the bucket, uses it on both the Outlaws, and then threatens to use it on the ref. DQ. Boogers. Next, what I really, it could have been a lot worse. Sergeant Slaughter versus Triple H. They start with a recap of the feud. War analogies, because, it's Sergeant Slaughter. Triple H is backstage with Cole, says he's got a survival kit for this match. It's a comb for Slaughter, some Metamucil, some prunes, and some Depends. Bang up job. The camera starts panning to China. Triple H goes, "Get that camera on me, idiot." I liked it. And then he says, "Slaughter, I might stop by and let your lady take a hit of the peace pipe."
I think he was referring...
Yeah, exactly. Cornette's backstage with Slaughter, and Slaughter doesn't really have anything to say. Are you wiping fake Coke out of your beard, or you just got a tick?
No, I was just...
It's hard to tell with you sometimes.
Sometimes because sometimes I'm just wiping Coke out of my fucking beard.
Not the Coke part.
You fucking asshole. I was just like mopping down the beard, training it, touching my... Jesus Christ. Do you want to know what I'm doing with the other hand?
Please, no. Slaughter comes out to Angle's music, or the Patriots music. Slaughter's in control for the beginning. He's got that riding whip, that he always carried to the ring. He's using that on Triple H. He pulls off his belt. He's using that. My favorite spot, Triple H goes to grab the ring bell from the timekeeper. Timekeeper won't let go of it, to the point where Triple H yanks on it, and the guy goes flying out of his seat and lands right on his feet. That was fucking amazing. And then the best part was he still won't let go of it, so Triple H just forces it forwards into the dude's face. Sold it great, just landed face first, and just laid there. I like it.
He's like, "Look it, man, this is the only spot I'm going to get ever. Give me a hard bump, man. Just throw me the fuck around. Don't care if I'm in the hospital at night. Let people on TV on this pay-per-view see me. You toss the fuck out of me, man."
Oh, and Triple H was all about it. He's like, "Fuck yeah." I was planning on doing it.
That's what I would do. If I got the job as just the bell guy, right? Timekeeper, but whatever the fuck. I don't care. I would every match be like, "Hey, do you need to knock me out? You can hit me if you want."
Hit me. Slap me. Yeah. So, Cobra Clutch gets applied, but China rakes the eyes. And then Lawler says, "Hooray for women in the military." Okay. Ref runs down China. She clocks him, gets a chair. China
She's never been in the military, so that makes zero fucking sense.
Yeah. Other than it's Sergeant Slaughter in the match, I guess. I don't know. He tried. Hey, man, Lawler hits pretty often, minus puppies. So, he's allowed to...
Let's see if he hits at any point where he's like, "I could see China doing porn one day."
Oh, man, there's a lot of irony coming up later. Can't wait to get to that. But anyway, China goes to hit Slaughter with the chair, but he has the powder from back in the day, the old gimmick, throws it in her eyes. Triple H hits Slaughter with the combat boot. He tries again, but it gets reversed into a Cobra Clutch, but as the ref is starting to get back up, so is China. And ref does the 2 arm raises, right? Arm goes down twice, just need one more. And China punts Slaughter's privates. Pedigree onto the chair for the win.
Is that no pun intended on the privates?
It's pun for the whole family.
Ooh, I get that. I like that. You didn't force feed that one either.
Exactly. There you go.
Taking notes.
Well, next we got Jeff Jarrett versus The Undertaker. How the fuck do you think this is going to win or play out? exactly how you
Jarrett.
think it's going to play out. Kane shows up mid-match, but he choke slams Jeff Jarrett after Jeff Jarrett starts shoving him, saying, yeah, kick his ass, kick his ass. Jeff Jarrett gets choke slammed. It's a DQ. Stare down. Kane just slaps Taker. Flames. Oregon. They leave.
But,
And
as I
then-
said, Jarrett wins.
Yeah, Jarrett wins. Jeff Jarrett jumps Taker afterwards, locks in the figure 4, but Taker gets his hand on his neck for the choke slam. Next, Michael Cole, who we're starting to see a lot more of, is in the crowd with Mark Henry. And they make it a point to say that Mark Henry's just hanging out with the executives from Milton Bradley. That's it. Next, we get The Rock
I have
versus
nothing.
Austin.
I really have nothing.
There is nothing else. It's The Rock versus Austin for the IC title. Austin comes out in his truck. Huge pop. Crowd is hot as fuck. Nation jumps Austin before the bell rings. D'Lo gets thrown over the top rope onto the hood. Smashes the windshield. Then he eats a stunner on the top of the cab. The match starts. Austin looked very sluggish in the beginning and for most of this match. Watching him come off the ropes, seemed like he was doped up or he was sore or something. He just didn't seem to have that urgency. He did.
They had this thing late in the
press.
night. I think the beers were already kicking in. I think at that point.
I mean, that certainly could be. I mean, the same thing happens the next week on fucking Raw or the next day on Raw. But we'll get there when we get there.
I will say this: I never watched this pay-per-view live. This was my first time watching it. But I remember the next day in school, everybody talking about D'Lo going over the top rope onto the hood and smashing the windshield, because back then you didn't really have a whole lot of those moments where someone's going right through the top of some car and breaking a window. It was a big moment, man, and he sold the shit out of it.
The truck being at ringside in itself was a big moment. Taking the bump on it was just the cherry on top. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
That whole setup was fucking, pretty revolutionary at the time. Not something that happened a lot. Yeah, so Kama goes to hit Austin with the chair. Austin ducks. It hits Farouk instead. He throws Kama into the truck. So Rock does the people's elbow, and it's fucked up because commentary didn't really sell it. But when he did it the second time, they did, and it seemed like they were trying to come up with a name for it. But they didn't. The second time, he does the double birds, but Austin reverses it. Austin knocks D'Lo off the apron, turns around. He actually doesn't even turn around. He's at the ropes when he knocks D'Lo off the apron. He feels somebody behind him, and he just grabs him and hits a stunner. Ends up being the ref. The Rock ends up getting some brass knuckles out, but Austin's able to reverse hit a stunner. Second ref comes in and counts 3. So Austin retains and gets back his title, or his belt.
Strap.
Main event. Ken Shamrock versus Shawn Michaels. Shamrock's backstage with Cornette, and at the end of Shamrock's promo, he says, "You will be squealing like a baby." Easier than taking candy from a pig.
Dude, as soon as he said it, but he didn't take as long of a pause as you did. But he did. He goes, "And you'll be squealing like a baby." And I was like, bad choice of words, man. Bad choice of words.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. So, as
taking
we were just talking
candy
about
from a pig.
It's the same thing. Oh, man. Yeah, so Shamrock eventually, towards the end of the match, counters the sweet chin music into the ankle lock, but Triple H and Chyna immediately run in. It's a DQ. It's a beatdown. And then, out of fucking nowhere, Owen Hart just fucking blasts Shawn Michaels through the announce table, beats the shit out of him, and powders through the crowd right as Triple H gets there.
The crowd lost their mind once they realized it was Owen.
They did lose their mind. I have some things to say, but I'm going to save it for Raw. I'll leave it at that. But that's how the pay-per-view goes off the air. Pretty cool to see Owen back. And obviously going after the right person.
So,
all right,
on to Raw.
On to Raw. That would be December 8th, the next day. Opens with McMahon coming to the ring. You know, McMahon's been on commentary less and less, if at all, lately. Hasn't even really been on TV too much other than like pre-records. So this
I think
is
the last
big.
time we saw him was the Brett Screwed Brett promo.
Yep.
It's the last time we have physically seen anything, even a video package, anything of Vince. So, yeah, so you're right. This is the first time him coming out to TV since even live in front of arena, let's say before Survivor Series.
Yeah, pretty much.
But now we're in character, aren't we?
Oh, definitely. Oh, definitely in commentary. I'm going to get to that here in a second. So Kevin Kelly, and Michael Cole are on commentary with Jim Ross. And they openly admit him as the owner. They definitely have been saying it for a while now, but it's always been a wrestler or like a wink, 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 nudge, nudge kind of thing. Like they're just flat out saying it now. Because that's the role that he's going to play. He's getting booed, and he's basically putting over Austin. He's saying, these are the things about Austin that are pissing me off, because he knows the crowd will cheer it. He's doing it the right way. He says he's been getting away with murder, assaulting officials, announcers, including yours truly. That gets a pop. You start getting the Austin chants. What Vince basically says is the ref that got stunned was about to disqualify Austin. He was getting up to disqualify Austin for stunning him, but then the other ref came in and counted 3. He's like, Austin, you have to defend the title against The Rock tonight, which you, the people, call the people's champ. I thought that was pretty fucking cool. Naturally, Austin comes to the ring, says, I do what I want when I want. Vince says, well, I'm the proud owner of WWF and your boss. There's consequences if you don't fight. And I'm very angry about your language. Jesus Christ, listen, Vince.
I love this segment.
It was so great. And it's basically Austin just running you down saying, I'll give you my answer later.
But it's funny because he goes, I'm saying your language. Christ, son, I'm telling you. And he keeps doing it. He's like, God damn it. And I loved it. It was a great segment.
And then Michael Cole casually says at the end that you can win a chance to win Austin's truck. Which is funny because towards the beginning of the segment, they had somebody that had a sign that said, I'll take your truck, Austin.
Well, you have to take it as is. The broken windshield, the dented hood, likely the broken radiator, carburetor, alternator, battery, spark plugs, oil. I think that's all I know about an engine.
Okay. That's a good start. I think we can
the engine.
That. Next, you get Legion of Doom versus the Godwins. The Godwins are being accompanied by New Age Outlaws. The Outlaws are wearing South Park shirts. Remember that? I forgot all about that. South Park was huge at this time, and like almost every other wrestler was wearing South Park gear. Even the oddities.
Everybody's got Cartman on.
Yep, pretty much. Animal gets run into the steps, and then Kane's music hits mid-match. The Godwins powder. Hawk's in the ring by himself. Kane hits a pile driver. Hawk no-sells it. Then Kane hits one of the weakest choke slams I've ever seen him give. Hawk sells that, and then he gets tombstoned. So he gets reversed pile drive, and that does the job, but the regular pile driver didn't do it. Okay, that's fine. The Outlaws end up beating down Hawk after Kane leaves. Animal comes back in with a chair to clear the ring. Outlaws get on the mic. He says there's no longer any competition in the tag division. What do? Hey, we'll sing a tune dedicated to the dinosaurs. And it's, hey, goodbye.
I gotta ask, is this the first time, I feel like for me, I've never heard anybody ever sing this, the crowd, anybody really do this. I feel like it's the very first time I've ever, did New Age Outlaws invent that?
Really? Are you serious? I swear it's been done in WCW.
Maybe.
Too many chicken nuggets and too many episodes, man. It's hard to remember.
That's true.
But he calls out anybody to challenge Badass Billy Gunn. Go ahead and cue up your own music. Dude Love comes out, and I love it because Road Dogg says, hey, I said one guy, not 3. Thought it was good. Nice little zinger. Little inside baseball. So, yeah, we end up getting Dude Love versus Billy Gunn. Dude Love wins with a DDT, but Road Dogg just hits him with a headshot with the chair. They put the title on his throat and do a top rope leg drop. That's that. Next, we get Cornette in the ring. He introduces Taka Michinoku as your new light heavyweight champion. And he says, we've got a little video of Taka learning a little bit of English from JR. And it was JR teaching him the word slobber knocker.
Most racist comment of the week. Or segment of the week. Sob haka. No. Slobber knocker. Sob haka. Jesus Christ.
I thought he did pretty good. Cornette says they want to introduce...
JR? Yeah, I think he did a good job saying it.
Taka's first challenger, but Lawler's music hits. He comes out, says that Taka's not the true champ. He stole it from Brian Christopher. The only reason he's in the U.S. is because there's not enough room in Japan and other racial tropes. He asked Taka, you got to learn to speak the English. Do you even speak any English? And Taka says, you jackass.
That one he nailed.
Yeah, he did nail that one. So Cornette's like, well, fuck it. Okay, his first challenger is going to be El Unico. Okay? I'm guessing it's Brian Christopher in a lucha mask. Lawler says, El Unico. Oh, great. So you brought another Mexican wrestler. Look, he's still dripping wet from swinging across the Rio Grande.
I can't believe this shit's on the Peacock. If we could only have like a button that every time something like that happened, racist.
It's probably going to get used a lot over the next couple of years, unfortunately. Yeah, it's totally Brian Christopher in a lucha mask, and they beat up Taka Michinoku.
Yeah.
Short video package called The Destruction of the Hearts. Bulldog getting injured by Shawn Michaels, the screw job, Anvil, getting played like a fool, and then Owens' return. Next, very weird segment, Flash Funk versus Kurgan, the interrogator. It was a squash, and it seems like Kurgan's starting to go rogue because the Jackal kind of had to keep him in check, and the other Recon and Sniper were scared of him. Very weird. Not a lot of insight or anything there, so nothing to really...
Yeah, he's going to get a big push.
Yep, pretty much. Hour 2, DX comes to the ring. I was waiting for this. There's a card table set up in the ring. Triple H does a quick promo on Slaughter, Shawn on Shamrock, and the Hart family. Shawn Michaels was really driving home the whole huge, giant, stinking, smoking, smelly turd. He used like the same descriptive words, the same adjectives every single time. It's probably about 20 times. He says, I'm going to flush this stinking turd known as the Hart family down the commode. Sometimes when you do that, it all goes down except for one nugget. I am not a nugget.
I'm a blackguard, a winner. Whoa! Can't wait to the Jason Sensation promo. That's gonna be the best thing.
Oh my god!
Actually, I don't think you get to see it, do you? Not on the Peacock Network.
Well, luckily I've got a hard copy that I can check out. So,
I think they took off the blackface.
Yeah, probably. Hey.
The fuck?
Mizark. Oh, you're not talking about that blackface. You're talking about a whole different one.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, I got it. Never mind. I was like, he ain't listening. He's too busy.
Poor Sean.
Putting pills in drinks.
That's how you get X-Pac heat right there. So they say they're going to sit there.
Wait, didn't we relabel it to something else? Who's the heat? Ty Conti heat? Or something.
Yeah,
Someone else got that.
Right? Yeah, something like that. Yeah, again, too many episodes, too many chicken nuggets. Maybe that
Fair
should
enough.
be the episode name. Jesus. They're going to sit there until somebody drags Owen's scrawny ass out there. There's whiskey, bottle of Jack Daniels, and cards on the table. They're going to play poker. And then China whispers to Shawn Michaels, and she brings up a good point. You may remember I said I was going to walk out here naked. Still haven't done it, so being a man of my word, we're going to play strip poker until Owen comes out. And then music hits, and DOA comes to the ring. It goes to break. We come back, and the poker game has been moved to the floor. We get Boricuas versus DOA again. Boricuas win again.
Feud of the year.
Come back from break. DX is back in the ring with the poker game. Shawn Michaels is down to his boxers. China's reaction, her selling of it is so great. Because she's just looking, she's got raising the eyebrows. It's fucking hilarious. Headbangers come to the ring. They apparently have a match coming up. They flip the table. DX beats the shit out of them. And they actually do an avalanche Shield powerbomb. Yes, the Shield was after this, but yeah, they set him up on Triple H while he was up sitting on the top buckle, and they put him through the card table. Owen runs in from the crowd to get some shots in on Shawn and back into the crowd.
As he was punching, you could hear him say, "You're the Nugget."
Yeah. You're still a nugget, bitch. This is so good, and it's so disappointing that nothing ever really comes of it. Because Owen just flounders after this. So it's a goddamn shame, because just watching this over 2 days, these 2 small segments, so much potential. Owen could have completely reinvented himself. He could have just wore flannel shirts all the time and just been the dude from Canada that's sick of your shit and is going to beat the shit out of you.
I think this was Vince's way to stick it back to Brett.
Yep. Oh, 100%. Because Owen just wanted to make a career for himself. Owen just wanted to support his family. He wasn't going to get caught up in the politics. So he's like, fuck it. I'll just hang around and get a paycheck. You know? It's a fucking damn
Unfortunately, shame. It's... yeah, well, we're going to see it week after week. Pretty soon, he'll be the only white guy in an all-black group.
Woo! Anyway.
The whole damn band is black except Owen.
Next we get
racist.
Jesus. Looks like I get my work cut out for me for bumpers here. Jeff Jarrett versus Vader. Goldust and Luna come out, splash Vader with some kind of liquid. Vader chases him to the back, and Jeff Jarrett gets a count-out win. So he's 2-0 since his return, and he's got a DQ win and a count-out win now. It's only it's less than a year before he's back in WCW, right? Year and a half at most?
I think he's there till about mid-99.
Really? Well, yeah, I guess that
post Owen dying.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah.
Maybe he's the reason WCW goes down.
Yeah. It's not like he laid there and let somebody pin him. Oh, wait, never mind. That was somebody else. Anyway.
Facts.
We can just do the musical part, and then we can just add stuff to the end of each one. It's interchangeable, man. It's universal. Next, we get Salvatore Sincere. Remember Salvatore Sincere? He's going to be facing Mero. We get a recap of the Mero fight and a post-match promo from Butterbean. You think I'm stalking Sable? Well, now I'm stalking you. No Sable at ringside this time. Mero gets on the mic and he goes, "Bro, telling everybody your name is Salvatore Sincere. Your name's Tom Brandy. This is the gimmick they gave you." I'm like, what the fuck?
I thought he went rogue on that moment there.
Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, that has nothing to do with this feud, but okay, apparently you're really starting to get pissed off. Mero says everybody's wondering where my property is. Well, I'm going to bring out somebody who can't do a Mero assault, who hasn't won the IC title and hasn't beat anybody, the new and improved Sable. And she's wearing a potato sack. Mero wants...
God, I thought she looked great, to be honest with you. I've never seen anything look better in a potato sack, ever. She made a potato sack look pretty good.
That's the joke. She won't disrobe Mero. Instead, she takes the sack off, and that's where she's in the bikini. I thought this was going to happen last week. Just because she had the boxing robe. That's how I always remembered it. I don't remember the potato sack. But Mero turns around and sees it and freaks out, starts trying to cover her up. Salvatore Sincere drop kicks Mero out of the ring. He gets counted out. Sincere's trying to lead the crowd in Sable chants. He tries anyway. And there you go. That's 2 count out.
Kids at ringside are busting nuts.
Yeah. A couple people did. I hate to see the bathroom line after that. So, main event.
Tuesday morning, every mother was doing a load of socks.
You know what? No, we're just going to move past that one. It's The Rock versus Austin for the IC title. Vince and the Stooges are at ringside. Austin's not in his ring gear. Vince says, you don't look like you're ready to compete. He said, well, I'm not going to wrestle. I already whooped his ass. What's your consequence? You going to fire me? Rock just comes over to Vince, leans into the microphone and goes, I think you should fire him, Vince.
The personality is awesome. I love watching Rock right now.
100%. He says he's going to strip Austin the title and give it to The Rock. And he says, well, there ain't but one belt that I'm interested in, and it's the world title. I'm going to forfeit this to The Rock. I got bigger fish to fry. Austin and Vince say, all right, Rock, take it. Austin says, hey, shake my hand. Hey, don't worry about it. Just shake my hand. Nothing wrong. They do. Austin holds his hand up, starts clapping, stuns The Rock. DTA, Rock. DTA. Don't trust anybody. Austin leaves with the title, so now we're in a reversal situation where Rock is the champion, but Austin has the actual belt. He comes back into the ring. Vince is standing on the apron. Austin hits the rope and knocks Vince off to the floor.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Man, those were the days. And now I have to watch Nitro.
Good night, folks. At least on one end.
Exactly. So Nitro's in Buffalo. First time
Yep.
WCW has been in Buffalo. Heenan's on commentary. Not tonight. No Zbyszko. We open up with Conan versus Ray Traylor. Mid-match, lights flicker. Then they go out. You hear a bump. Lights come back on. Conan's down. Traylor's confused, but he takes the 1-foot pin. Next, you get Barbarian versus Mongo. Flocks in the crowd. Mongo wins. Hart calls out Mang. And Mang gets the death grip on. Look at Mang continuing to get pushed here.
Didn't even know that he had this many wins, actually. It's kind of a fun thing about watching this again.
Yeah, me neither. Next, we get one of our many Gene on the ramp with somebody segments. It's with Disco Dingus. He's going to be facing Saturn again later. People are saying in the locker room, you're losing to a lady. When you go to the restroom, they don't know what door you're going to come out of. I love you, Gene.
Fucking Gene.
And obviously, Disco gets very defensive. He says, anybody has anything to say can say it to my face. Speaking of Gene on the ramp, he's there again. And this time, Buff comes out. Buff's just calling out Luger. Hey, I won another match last week. He didn't show me anything. You know what? And he ain't going to win. You know why? Because I'm Buff, and I'm in Buffalo.
Ooh, sick burn.
Yeah.
I was going to say, and I'm the stuff. Buff and stuff.
Next, Dean Malenko beats Prince Iaukea. Good in-ring work, you know. Eddie was on commentary. It was more of a showcase for that, I think, than anything.
Right.
I don't necessarily like when that happens, because especially in this situation, because I want to listen to Eddie, but I want to watch the match. So which one am I going to pay attention to, right?
You can't walk and chew gum?
No. Remember, I have to turn down the music when I'm, pulling up to a new house I've never been to before.
Touche.
Next, you get the Nitro Girls dancing at commentary. Heenan says, well, you'll never hear me complain about working conditions here. Sexist. That was fucking great.
Jesus Christ. I love this shit. All right.
That might be a synced up hat trick. Wow. Hopefully it sounds good.
It's still better than Nitro. What else happens?
They show the crowd, and a freshly retired Jim Kelly is there, along with Bruce Smith. Fucking A, hit the music.
The bills make me wanna shout. Kick your heels up and shout. Throw your hands up and shout. Throw your head back and shout. Come on now, the bills are making it happen now. Stand up now, come on and shout. Yeah, 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 yeah. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. The bills make me wanna shout.
So we get a quick promo from Nash on the Giant. Nash calls himself the True Giant, the only True Giant. Nash makes a good point. He goes, hey, man, you know, you call me out right after I had knee surgery. It's like, as soon as I go on the shelf, that's when you decide to call me out. Okay. He says, I want a match at Starrcade, Giant versus Giant. You're one-dimensional. You have a choke slam. Pot, meet the kettle.
Nah, Giant turns more.
No, that nobody turns like Giant. Except AEW. That's a different story, though. Gene's in the ring, calls out the Giant. He still has the cast on. He accepts the challenge. As much as I said something was wrong with Austin in his match with The Rock, I feel like something was up with the Giant during his promo. I don't know if he was doped up or on fucking cold medicine or what was going on, but he just like, oh yeah, and I'm bringing a surprise, the chokeslam. It's just weird.
You're scared of the claw. Ooh, you're scared of the chokeslam. Benadryl's a hell of a drug.
I'm gonna fast forward through this as much as I can because there's something that we need to talk about. Next, you get Chris Benoit versus Lodi. Commentary calls him the guy in the shiny pants. 5 seconds later, they're like, oh, his name is Lodi. Way to sell it, guys. Way to make him seem important.
They go to Mexico and learn about wrestlers from all these different places and all this shit, and you can't remember the guy that's literally in front of you right now? Great journalism. Good job, Mike Tenay.
Benoit sets up the superplex, and he spits at the flock, hits the flying headbutt, crossface, win. No Raven there. Benoit gets on the mic. He says, quote the crippler, nevermore. Raven, get out here and take it like a man. Now, if there was an award for lifetime ironic promo, it goes to Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit says to Raven, you claim to have been victimized, abused in your childhood. Step into the ring with the crippler and find out what abuse and being a victim is truly about. Holy fucking fuck.
And I will leave you with a Bible.
Don't. God damn it.
How much do you hate me? Like, just
Hour
at
two.
least 3 to 4%.
Hour 2, Gene in the ring again. Calls out Flair. Promo on Hennig and the NWO. Flair has something. I noticed Flair's gesturing and shit. Flair had something written on the palm of his hand.
I didn't catch that.
Yeah, I couldn't see what it was. I'm wondering if it was just the name of the town. I wonder if it just said Buffalo, New York on this.
I think it was probably Hennig, and he's like, try not to hit the ing. It's more of an ig, right? Hennig.
I don't think Forrest Gump was. Actually, no, Forrest Gump was out at that point, I think.
Sure was.
96, I think. Yeah.
94 or 95.
Fine. Why don't you look it up?
Okay.
Gene brings up Bret Hart, says, hey, you've proclaimed yourself as the best ever. Fortunately, you did that in a local Canadian newspaper. Why don't you come down to Charlotte? I thought that was cool. Said, you've joined the NWO for one reason, to avoid the Nature Boy. The best there is, best there was, woo, or even will be, is the Nature Boy. And then I marked out for this because I am a mark. He says, comparing you to me is like comparing John Elway to Jim Kelly. And he bows to Jim Kelly. And then Heenan, like right as they're about to go to commercial, Heenan on commentary is like, who's Elway?
Gene was on fire. He had a good night.
He's always on fire. Yeah. Hugh Morris.
He's always a couple 2 tree deep.
Yeah, probably. He's got his martinis fucking probably pre-poured backstage. Stops back in between each interview, takes a couple sips, back out. That's the life. Next, you get Hugh Morris versus Macho. As soon as I saw Hugh Morris coming out and knowing they were in Buffalo, I knew exactly what happened. Macho comes out. Macho's heated. He's ripping signs out of fans' hand. And he goes up to Jim Kelly and knocks the cap off his head. Morris jumps him, and Jim Kelly and Bruce Smith are like, well, fuck it, let's get some shots in. And they just start laying shots in.
It was awesome.
It was great. And then Morris shoves Macho back into him. They get more shots in on him. So that was cool.
That was pretty humorous all around.
What's that?
I said it was pretty humorous all around.
It was. It was indeed a very funny situation.
You just forcefully killed my joke.
Yeah, I tried. Sometimes you got to kill the things that you hate.
I should not be living too much longer then. Great. All right.
Oh, Jesus. I wouldn't go that far. Savage regains control.
Not you. I just have a lot of enemies out there.
Let's not bring your family back into this, okay? I already
Jesus Christ, dude. Why do you make this like it's a fucking therapy session? The fuck? My family hates me. What the fuck? All right, we're not going to call this Monday Night Wars anymore. We're going to call it Mark is Lonely.
Hey, to be fair, I said let's not.
Okay, yeah. All right, fine. Good idea. Hey, let's not tell anybody about the third testicle that you have. Let's not bring it up, okay? Go ahead. Let's not talk about it, ODM.
Is that why my boxers don't fit that well?
I don't have a retort. Go ahead.
You know, it's funny that you're bringing up testicles when we're talking about inside knowledge here.
Are you talking about my balls? No. This is really going off the rails, man. We still have a whole other segment to go.
It's the wars. I know, right? Jesus. Well, anyway, Macho just keeps hitting elbows. And Tenay goes, "This is Erie." Heenan goes, "No, this is Buffalo."
Oh, that's a good one.
Come on, that was a good one. You got to admit that was funny. Even though I thought that was funny, I'm gonna give it an 8. Guess what? The lights go out again. We hear electricity. You hear the bump again. Crowds cheering. And this is where the illusion kind of gets a little bit lost. Even though, one, you already know damn well what it is. But two, when the lights go out, people are flashing their cameras so much that for a brief second, you blatantly see Sting give the death drop. Like, you can't miss it. It's right there. Lights come back on. Savage is down with the Sting mask on. So,
my question is this. If you're doing it in the dark with only flashing stuff, do you have to actually go through the whole death drop motion, or can you just
I think
jump to the ground?
Just in case. Just in case. Okay. Because you don't want the fucking lights to accidentally come on, or somebody fucking has a flashlight and you just see Macho Man fall backwards.
That's true. I mean, we did see the Jeff Hardy jump onto Jinder Mahal that one time, and he just, I'll fall down.
Yep. So next you get Rude and Bischoff. They come out to commentary. The best part is Rude is facing commentary, so his back's to the camera. Luckily, they get a camera on the other side of the desk so you can see what he's doing. He says, "Hey, you guys know what's going on. WCW pays the power bill, so you better pray whatever caused those lights to go out doesn't happen again. Because if it does, we're going to take the 3 out." And he goes, "Capiche? Comprende? Do you understand?" And what I thought was a crime was that he didn't say comprende to Mike Tenay. Since he's the Lucha Libre expert, he would understand the Spanish.
Racist.
Rude, well, he's white, so that's not racist. Rude makes them pose as the see no evil, speak no evil, hear no evil, things. And it's great because they're all just standing there with their hands over their eyes or their mouth or their ears. He's like, "Let's go to the ring."
Just like a bunch of puppets. Like, you put them in place and just made them do them like mannequin dolls or whatever.
Put their hands. Yeah, you're right. No, it's fucking hilarious. Next, you get Disco Cockknocker versus Saturn for the TV title. The Maggot wins on a shot.
I know, by the way, if I haven't ever said it, I know that you've not repeated one disco name ever, and I just have to bring that up. I love it.
I think I did it once just because I couldn't think of anything, but I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
But the Cockerknocker made me have to bring up right there. I'm like, just...
Hey, if they have to get childish or silly, that's fine. He deserves every shitty nickname I can give him. But yeah, the Maggot won the TV title. Boo. Next, we get Buff, because he's in Buffalo, with Vincent against Luger. Schiavone goes, "The lights go out, I'm out of here." Luger gets counted out while he's trying to fend off Vincent and Scott Norton. Hooray. So Buff gets the win. He gets carried off like he won the goddamn Super Bowl. That's what heels do. Next, you get Scott Hall in the ring. It's survey time. He's going to be taking on DDP. Get to the end of the match. DDP calls for the cutter. Hennig rolls in. Rest of the NWO follows. It's a DQ. Hall hits the edge on DDP. And then we get the Sting dummy through the ring again. Hogan says, "Ha, what a dummy." Sting's a coward. He won't come out of hiding. They pull the dummy out of the hole. They put him over the ropes. Hogan goes over him and pulls the mask off, and it's Sting. I don't know how he's done it, but I know he's done it.
Are you serious? You don't know how they did this whole thing?
Well, Sting would have been under the ring. I'm just wondering how they pull it off without the crowd seeing it.
Oh, very easily. You just the Sting went all the way through the mat to the under the ring, right?
Oh, I thought I still saw him poking out.
Oh, I thought he went all the way through.
Maybe they stomped him in or something. Maybe I missed a point, but that would make sense. Yeah, if they just stomped him in, or if he went all the way in, as long as the camera didn't show him, the crowd wouldn't have seen it. Yeah,
maybe he knew something Owen didn't.
Yeah. Look out! No, okay. Well, good night, folks.
Good night, folks. I love it. There's no better way to, and they even say it too every week. That's even better. Well, good night, folks. Well, sometimes you can't have wrestling be the way you want it to be. The only time you can do that is if you fantasy book it or play a wrestling game.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for...
The best there is, the best there was, and the best that there ever will be. Hold 2, arm bar.
Sodas rule. Yeah, they do.
Hold 3, the moss-covered, 3-handle family gradunzel. It's me, Austin.
Just when they think they got the answers, I change the questions.
I did it for The Rock.
This week's top topic.
You know something mean, Gene? John C.
Wrestling's not fake.
The Rolex wearing one, diamond ring wearing one, jet stealing, woo, wheeling dealing one, limousine riding one, jet flying one, son of a gun, woo.
Sierra Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. If you smell...
The following ranking order and final decisions are a completely bias-based order, based off The Professor and ODM made it. And as always, they like to let you know they have not worked in the business, but have been lifelong invested fans, much like you, our listeners. With not only their opinions involved, but with countless amount of hours of research done each week, they make sure to provide proper facts and history to back it up. However, they do know that your opinion may vary from theirs. If there is anything you want to chat about, bring to their attention. If there is something they missed or forgot, or you just want to let them know they are out of their freaking minds, feel free to shoot them a message on Facebook or Twitter, or email them at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com. As always, they do appreciate all feedback and continued support. At the end of the day, they want to make sure that you do see the best of the best before you die. And now, this week's top topic.
We're going to have a little bit of we'll say a difference of opinion on how this topic is going down here, okay, OEM? Our first episode was top 50 stables in wrestling history. Now, no, I'm not going to list every video game in history, although I do have them all in front of me. I'm going to gloss over, and we're going to talk about the top ones. We may have to throw in some shitty ones, being like, did you do this one? Because that was a bag of ass. Because it did play a couple of them where you're like, oh, God, I don't think I'm getting my money back on this one. This sucks. And we all know, I think, what was it, WWE 2K20, 21? Whoever had Glitch Fest, that one,
yeah.
God damn, I loved watching the videos, and I was like, I am so glad I don't even have a system that can carry this game.
The new one is actually pretty good, from what I've seen.
Oh, I was gonna say, did you get it? Well, we all know we're also waiting on AEW Fight Forever, so that's another big reason I wanted to talk about this. We have high hopes for some wrestling games coming at us. Again, I'm going to be talking about the top video games, also going to be throwing in a couple of bits and notes here. Did you know the very first wrestling game was in November 1985 on regular Nintendo NES, and it was called Muscle Tag Team Match.
Oh. Like the muscle figurines?
Yes, the MUSCLE.
Yeah.
Like it,
I used to have
exactly.
a ton of those. Those things were awesome.
Yep, and it was the first video game, and then it followed along with Micro League. But then in 1989, WWF had WrestleMania, which a lot of people remember. It's the one that had Hogan on the cover, ripping his shirt. Most popular one back then.
Yeah, there was an arcade game of that in our local bowling alley. Used to play that all the time after bowling.
Very good call. They did have that. Actually, they also had WWF Superstars. That may be the one you're thinking of, because that came out in May of 89. That was the first arcade wrestling video game. Same concept, same thing. I think they just had two different names. One was for Nintendo, one was the arcade version.
Gotcha.
WCW got in the mix in 1990 with their WCW Wrestling. And then you had WWF WrestleMania Challenge in 1990. That was my first Nintendo game. That was my first wrestling one, where the cover had like 5 guys. Hogan was in the middle, and then in the center, and then 4 other guys around. It was like Big Boss Man, Rick Rude, Savage, and I think Warrior, something to that effect of those guys. And it was awesome because the whole time they just played 8-bit music over the background while you were wrestling, and it was everybody's entrance themes, as you're hearing. Then let me ask you: have you ever heard of a Commodore 64?
Yep.
Can you explain what the hell that is?
Commodore 64 is a computer.
Yes, I like it. And WrestleMania Challenge came out on that. They had one in 1991 that came out. And then WWF Superstars came out on Game Boy. I had a Game Boy. Did you have a Game Boy?
I sure did.
Absolutely. You have them all. I know. And then, WrestleFest became a big one in 1991 at arcades.
Yes. That's the one. That and WrestleMania, the arcade game. Because you're right, WrestleMania was the console game. But then there was WrestleMania, the arcade game. So that and WrestleFest were the two that I definitely remember playing in the arcades. Great games.
And there was a handful of other ones that came in towards the end of the 92 and 93 era. For me, where they started to really kick into different stuff was Sega Genesis's first one was Royal Rumble 93. I remember that was a big one because it was the first time you actually had Royal Rumble matches on in a video game style, and I was like, who has a Sega? I got to get around. I got to play that game because I didn't have it. I had just a Nintendo. Did get the Super Nintendo down the road. And then on regular Nintendo and Game Boy came out King of the Ring, capitalizing off the pay-per-view just earlier that year for the first one that Brett just won. WCW did Main Event in 94 on Game Boy. Never played a WCW game in the early 90s. I didn't get into them until way later. So I don't have a whole lot of experience as to how some of the WCW games played back then. Probably like a lot of the WWF ones.
Yep, same here.
My life was changed on Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Gear, and of course Game Boy. But I had it on Game Boy and Super Nintendo. WWF Raw. My life was effing changed. And it began with oh my god, I miss that. I miss my Game Boy, I'm not gonna lie. I had a lot of great games on there. Then in 1995 came out something that I introduced you to personally on the side, ODM, and I'm going to talk about it now. And it's a thing called Extreme Warfare. This is a booking game that's strictly for PC, where you have actual names, like real wrestling names, and it's a database, and they have the companies that they work for. But you yourself can make the trades and make your own promotion and have your own feuds, everything you want to. And it's grown throughout the years. I have the 2020 version, and I feel like I'm actually running a real goddamn wrestling promotion. It's kind of a little too much. It's a lot of work.
So when you mentioned that to me, when we were doing this list, I remember you talking about one. And that's it. What is that called again?
Well, this one is called Extreme Warfare. The one I do is Total Extreme Warfare, TEW 2020. It is a son of a bitch to play, but it's kind of fun too if you want to lose hours and hours of your life.
I have enough things to do that with, this podcast included, so.
Fair enough. So after that, one of my favorite ones did come out on Saturn as well as PS1. In Your House. That's the one where WWF was like, okay, we're going to get zany as shit. The King of Hearts, Owen Hart, is going to have a giant king deck card that he beats the fuck out of you with. It was like Mortal Kombat meets WWF at the time, which was different, and it was in your house. It wasn't in a regular wrestling arena. Different, fun, meh. But for me, WCW did have a really decent game on PS1, which was WCW versus the World. It's one of the more underrated wrestling games, I feel like, of all time. The amount of championships that you have or can create, but they actually have guys from all over the world. And I'm talking like real wrestlers from Japan, Mexico, but you also have the WCW guys on there. You got both versions of Hollywood and Hulk Hogan. You have the Outsiders, Sting, Eddie Guerrero, but then you got, again, all these Japanese wrestlers. It's like a wet dream of a wrestling game. Plays like meh, but it's 1996. It's exactly what you thought you were going to get with the game. And then also at that time, since they were making that on PS1, they made, which a lot of people probably remember playing, WCW vs. NWO World Tour, which was strictly for N64. This was the time where 4 controllers was a big thing because of GoldenEye and games like this right here.
Yeah, this is one that I had. I think we had both World Tour and Revenge.
Revenge came out just the next year. Thank you. I was going to say that's coming up right now. Yep.
And I always remember it was weird because to do the finisher, you had to hit a button and move the analog stick towards them, and it would do this weird grapple and then set it up. I used to love playing that. I played a Scott Hall all the fucking time on that game. All the time.
I was a Sting guy when I would do a WCW game. Actually, Eddie Guerrero was a lot. I did a lot, too, in the WCW versus the World, because Frog Splash. Right before that Revenge came out, WWF came out with Warzone. They had a couple of strings of some games that were really, really good. This was on PlayStation 1, N64, and Game Boy. WCW followed up in 98 with Nitro. I think Nitro was decent. It was on N64, PS1, as well as a computer. It was decent. Same with the one that followed up, which was WCW Thunder. I think they were just every wrestling game at that point. They were all pretty much copy-paste. I feel like everybody's working at the same companies that were producing games. There was only so much you could do graphic-wise also.
Right.
Attitude came out in 1999. That's where things got a little bit of a different change for WWF. And then Mayhem came out in 99 as well. One I do remember playing, a lot of people playing, was on N64, WrestleMania 2000. It's another one that was just as big as those other ones.
Yep.
In 2000, ECW said, well, we're going to throw our hat into the mix. We are doing Hardcore Revolution, and that was their first one that was on PS1, Dreamcast, N64. So it took them a little bit of time compared to everybody else. By the way, I can't even begin to tell you the amount of games I'm glossing over. I wish I could give you a full amount. I think it was something like nearly 200 wrestling games altogether have been released in history. So just be glad I'm not listing every one of them. I only have one thing in 400 pots. That one's for you. Where were we here? So, now this one, I'm not going to lie. This was a big one. I remember it coming out, and I remember taking time off. I'm like 90% sure I even faked a sickness and didn't go to school. When SmackDown came out, oh my shit. It was just a great game.
Which one in particular did you like?
This is the first one. This was on the first one that came out on PlayStation 1.
2006?
After that... Wait, no. We have plenty of that we're going to get into. This is just regular 2000. SmackDown. Regular...
Wow. Okay.
Yep. Then if you had a Dreamcast, they also came out with Royal Rumble 2000. ECW had another game, Anarchy Rules, in 2000. WCW Backstage Assault. I remember a lot of people playing that one. N64 and PlayStation 1. I actually had a buddy that played it. I never played it. But a big one that a lot of people loved that everybody, I think, talks about to this date, if I am not mistaken, as one of the biggest stepping stones if you want to make a game, No Mercy 2000, which was on N64.
So you nailed it. That's the game that AEW is trying to basically replicate.
That's what I thought. Got to be honest, never played it. I never had an N64.
Me neither. Yeah, I mean, I had we had an N64, but we never had that game. Yeah.
It's funny, if I had a chance to play N64, I was like, "Where's GoldenEye?" I mean, that was just the go-to. It was my favorite one. But SmackDown 2, Know Your Role, came out November. I remember this came out the day after Thanksgiving, November of 2000, and so we're talking Black Friday. And I mean, I remember getting it during the daylight, and all of a sudden I walked out of my bedroom, and it was just pitch black. Like the day was gone. Like I was just in there. But it was the first time they had Hell in a Cell, and Know Your Role had the fist that you were able to jump off of on the stage. It was, you want to talk about a game that like took over my life? Know Your Role was that.
Yeah, there was only again. So there's a lot of SmackDown games. There was one that I fixated on. We'll get to it when we get there. And if not, I'll touch on it afterwards.
No, fair enough. That Extreme Warfare game I talked about, the PC booking game, they did another version in 2001. They have multiple versions. Basically, really just every 4 to 5 years, they kept updating it with the wrestlers. But the thing is that they never get rid of the older database. So I could have Bruno Sammartino taking on Brutus Beefcake if I want to for no reason. And China is the special ref. It sounds like it's a moneymaker already. SmackDown Just Bring It was the whole reason I had to buy a PlayStation 2. God damn it. Because I was trying to have every wrestling game, and I was really into having all the WWF games. And then they came out with Just Bring It on PS2, and I had to get it. Then in 2001... came out Legends of Wrestling. It was a good concept, but it was a dog shit game. Absolutely horrible. Now I will say, a couple years later, now that's 2001, I believe in 2002, yes, November 2002 was Legends of Wrestling 2. Better, but what I loved is that on a PlayStation, even with just 2 controllers, you could do 4 versus 4 in a Survivor Series style match. And it didn't bog out or run like everybody was 90 years old in a nursing home. You know what I'm talking about. When you play Money in the Bank in any 2K game nowadays with more than 6 or the 6 people in it, it's like everyone runs very slow or does their moves really slow. This game ran pretty decent. I was actually a pretty big fan of Legends of Wrestling 2. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth came out in 2002 as well. Now,
okay.
Did you ever play Def Jam Vendetta? Oh, okay, go ahead.
No, okay, so 2 things. Def Jam Vendetta I've never played. But it is definitely, if you just Google top wrestling games of any time, you're going to see it on probably every list. Very close to the top on a lot of them.
It is what Shane McMahon tried to do during the pandemic. What was that underground fighting bullshit thing that they had? Raw Underground. That's exactly what this is like.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, great praise. I've seen some clips. It looks good, especially, the graphics for the time. What I was going to talk about real quick was Shut Your Mouth. SmackDown Shut Your Mouth, because that's the game that I have. And as a matter of fact, I still have it. And through the power of editing, it will be in my hand now. So, as you can see, my copy.
Damn.
SmackDown Shut Your Mouth for PS2. I don't even know where my PS2 is. Great thing about this game was I hadn't been watching wrestling in a while. So I was seeing names that I hadn't heard, like people that I can't think of right now. Randy Orton, John Cena. Hadn't heard of these dudes at this point.
How about the guy in the cover, Brock Lesnar?
That too, yeah. So this, like you, usurped so much of my time. I made several wrestlers. I made a giant guy that kind of looked like Brooklyn Brawler, and I called him Furious George.
I get it.
But I'm going to wager that if I open this, my booking papers are going to be in there.
Oh, no shit. I think we all had these, too. Goddamn, look at pieces of paper coming out right now.
Look, I mean, there's, I had my Raw
Does that say Joe Rizzo, WWF champion?
No, of course not. There was ODM, though. I think he was a champion. Yeah.
That's
crazy
sick.
Shit. Yeah. So
I like it. I actually, when I played baseball games or football games, I would have a whole piece of paper listed with all these, like, created names or whatever. But, like, they were, like, really horrible names, too. Like, what was the Joe Mama? Big-ass dude. Just fucking dumb names. But, like, I would also make them extremely weird shaped. You know, a lot of fun. Yeah.
Sure.
Create a wrestler in, like, 90% of the games that I had. If it was an option, by the way, done.
Totally get used.
One of the things I liked, going back to WWF Attitude, you could create a pay-per-view. You would go and list like 8 matches or however many you wanted to do, and just play them in order. So you could, if you have a whole bunch of people over and you're all wanting to plan out a whole bunch of matches and go, it's a smart way to go. I think it's, they don't do that. You can't just put together a whole card. You can like in the career mode sometimes, but not as much.
Right, yeah.
But you're only limited to... But do you want to do it on Raw or SmackDown, or do you want to delete yourself to go all the way, or skip to go to the pay-per-views? That's what I don't like about their career modes. They're
Right. No, fair enough. Okay, yes, you can't do it in career mode. Yes, you are correct.
But skipping ahead, GameCube had WrestleMania 19. Oh, shit, I gotta go back. Oh, my God. I can't believe I almost forgot this. So, not only did we have the Def Jam Vendetta, we talked about, was it Know Your Role? Or Shut Your Mouth.
Yep.
Okay. In between there, in 2003, WWE came out with, I think, one of their most underrated games of all time, and I don't give a shit if everyone thinks I'm the worst mark in the world. It came out on PS2, and as I'm just learning, it came out apparently also on GameCube. And I thought when I lost my PS2, I lost this game forever, man. And I have a GameCube. It's WWE Crush Hour. You are going to take wrestlers, and they all have their own demolition monster truck, and it's all like them. So, like, Kane shoots fire, Big Show is a giant fucking monster truck, like, in The Rock has just whatever. Everybody has their own version, but you do games like Capture the Flag or bumping into somebody or getting 10 kills. It's kind of like a little bit of metal. Like, yeah, exactly. It's awesome. I absolutely love the game. And when I lost my PS2, I was like, that's gone, man. I'm never going to be able to play that again. Because I did have a PS3 that you could play the PS2 games, but then I lost them. I can't use that anymore, yada, yada, yada. But I found out it's on GameCube, and I have one of those, so my search is going to begin. I can't wait to get back into Crush Hour. It's a ridiculously dumb game, but it's funny because as you hit someone, if you kill them, yeah, you smell what The Rock is cooking. You know, if The Rock kills you, it's fun. I love it. You'll rest in peace.
All right.
Owen says something like, catch me. All right, so let's get on to the next game. On Xbox, WWE had Raw, and then in 2003, they came out with Raw 2. I remember that one had Triple H and Scott Steiner on the cover. That was looking up.
Yeah, right.
Backyard Wrestling came out on PS2 and Xbox. It was called Backyard Wrestling, Don't Try This at Home. It's exactly what you think it is. And I have to at least bring this up because it is partially wrestling. In 2003, MTV put their name into the game with Celebrity Deathmatch. Had their own version, even had some of the wrestlers on there like Austin and Rock because they had been on the show previously. SmackDown, Here Comes the Pain, comes out in 2003 on PS2. And again, you know, a whole bunch of random games throughout the time here, but Day of Reckoning came out on GameCube in 2004. And then the very first ever, this is where things took a change. We stopped having SmackDown games because we ran out of names. You had Know Your Role, Shut Your Mouth, Here Comes the Pain. What's next? So in 2004 comes SmackDown vs. Raw, the very first one. I want to let you know that pretty much any game that I am mentioning right now, also pretty much I've had, especially the WWF ones. I mean, especially if it was a PS2 version. And by the way, I'm skipping Now that we're getting into this generation, I promise you, I'm skipping every game that's a mobile game. Do you have any idea how many ridiculously amount of fucking mobile games are out there for wrestling? I didn't even know this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know for certain, but I'm guessing it's a lot.
You want me to list them all?
Nope.
On Xbox, WWE did have a thing going for several years where it was like WrestleMania 21, WrestleMania 22, WrestleMania 23. They were just kind of smart idea, I guess. But then SmackDown vs. Raw 2006, SmackDown vs. Raw 2007, same games. You know what I mean? They're all kind of becoming the same thing, just different character change out. You do have a little bit of storylines that are a little bit different. I will say the storylines back in the earlier days, way better than what you have now. Nowadays, in the last several years, it's recreating history. They're like, oh, you got to make Owen Hart beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 10 to move on to the next match. I saw that, man. Can I recreate something here? I don't want to do that shit. Like, I get it. It's nice. It's fun, but Like, there was one of the years it was like doing all of Austin's career or John Cena's career. I was like, I lived it and watched it, man. I bought the game because I want to make my own career. Anyway, much how WWE did the WrestleMania games, New Japan had theirs, and they have Wrestle Kingdom 1, 2, and 3 out there. You can actually find them on PS2. So, again, throughout the mix, you have all the SmackDown games all the way up to 2009, but TNA did throw their name into there as well, like I said, everybody else is doing, and they had TNA Impact. The only thing that came out of this game that was decent was they made a character in there called Suicide. And then, one day, Creative was like, I don't have anything that we could do. Wait, didn't we make up a little Spider-Man gimmick guy on our game? We could do that, right? Yeah, where's Christopher Daniels? Let's put him under a mask for fucking 2 years. Whatever.
Yep.
Yeah, TNA's games were all pretty much the same. Pretty much dog shit. You had Cross the Line, TNA Wrestling, TNA Impact. They were all pretty bad. Legends of Wrestling came out on PS3, Xbox 360. This thing had so much hope. And then when you got to it, the guys were... Everybody was on steroids and looking huge. They all had tiny little legs, huge giant bodies. It was
like Street Fighter almost.
Yeah, it was like not. It fell short of the options it could have gone with. And SmackDown vs. Raw keeps going all the way into 2011 until we finally get WWE 12. I think they're like, I think that we've run our course on the Versus game. And they get into WWE 12, then they have WWE 13, and so on and so forth. Until taken over into 2K, which I would think is about 2014, I believe.
13. There was a 2K
13. Okay, so they only had two WWEs. One WWE 12, and then 13. 13, I was a fan of. I will say I just got done. I'm about to completely, say I'm a hypocrite over here, but... I did like the recreation of the Attitude Era that they did on WWE 13. It was like 3 years worth of stuff to go back and do. I mean, anything from like New Age Outlaws to Triple H, Foley, Taker, all the guys. And it was kind of fun to go back and do it. It was reminiscent. And I was like, I feel like I'm playing WWF Attitude right now. It's kind of, it was nostalgic to play that version. Other games actually kind of got into the mix, by the way. I know I said I wasn't going to mention them, but there's Booking Federation, Booking Revolution. There's a bunch of different booking games that are out there, but the biggest one that is the most popular, used, and still going today, again, is TEW, which I had already mentioned earlier. So we do have 2K13. We have 2K14 that comes out. And actually, if you did remember, where is it here? Sorry, page just kind of turned on its own here. 2K17, for me, the last one that I have. I have not purchased a WWF game or WWE game since. Because, cut, copy, paste. It was all every game was. Just a couple different rosters, right? And once I've already downloaded my 100, well, I can't transfer all these over to everybody else. I'm just going to leave them here, and I'm going to play this game forever. Best decision I've ever made.
Yeah, I agree with you. So I have 16 and 19, and I think those are some of the best ones in that series. Same thing though. My old consoles, I think those are PS3s or maybe on the PS4. I don't remember. I think they were on the PS4. But my old PS4 is shot, so I can't even play them anymore. Which is why I go digital now, so you don't run into that problem. So, yeah, I haven't gotten one since 2K19, and I'm probably not going to buy one until AEW comes out. I'll let it come out for a couple weeks, maybe a month before I buy it, check out the reviews, watch some gameplay footage, make a decision, and then go from there. But I would like to buy one soon because I do miss the create a wrestler, kind of building out your own thing and just doing that. That's what I'm interested in. I want something where, like TEW, where you can do all the booking, but then something where if you want to play a match, you can play a match. Or if you just want to sim it and just watch it, the computer play, you can do that too. So,
I may have told you this on air, off air, but I'll just repeat the story because it's quick. My buddy, Brother Marty, he... ever since any game, like Attitude, all those games, and you could create a wrestler, he has one guy that he's had, and I can't remember the name right now off the top of my head, but it's been the same guy, and he used to be a high flyer. He's like a Jeff Hardy, and as he's gotten into the later years, he's just a submission wrestler because he can't do that kind of stuff anymore because he's too old. As he got older, so did his wrestler, but it's the same guy every time, and he just makes him a little older every year. I'm like, that's awesome. Commitment, and that's goddamn awesome.
Long-term story booking. All right.
For real. And it's funny you brought up AEW Fight Forever. That is coming out very soon. We do have, the most recent WWE game that came out was in March of earlier this year, which is 2K22. Next game out is set to be AEW's Fight Forever, as well as there's going to be a thing coming out called Virtual's Basement, The Wrestling Code, set to come out in 2024. On PS5, Xbox Series, I've never heard of it. And then also in 2004 will be Ultra Pro Wrestling, also to be on PCP, not that kind. The Xbox, PS4, PS5, Xbox One, Switch. Never even heard of these two last games, but they are on the way out soon. So I thought that was kind of good to know that we do have some more wrestling on the way. I think Fight Forever has a lot of hype to live up to. Way too much expectancy. Everyone is like, again, you're focused on No Mercy, so it's you got to. Jeez, it's a lot of pressure. What I've seen, some good shots, but you could doctor a shot to make things. That every video shot I've ever seen never looks that way in a game. Even the back footage, they're like,
there's always
you got to slide into home.
Yeah, not actual gameplay. Anytime you see a video game trailer, just look at the bottom. It'll say, not actual video gameplay.
Well, do they expect video game people to read? Because I don't know how. But that's it, man. That is the end of our segment for the top topic of the top video games in history. Did we name all the ones that you...
We covered all the ones I have, but we got to talk about the worst wrestling game ever.
Yeah, you did mention to me that you have the worst wrestling game ever in mind. And I got to be honest with you. I mean, shit, there's a lot to choose from, but I'm excited to hear.
I'm wondering if it's even on your list.
Go ahead. What year was it?
The Simpsons Wrestling.
You know what? I didn't. Again, I said there's a lot of different versions out there. Look, man, there's names out there of things I didn't say. And you're right. Simpsons did it in, 1998?
Sounds about right. I won a copy somewhere. Don't remember where. It's the worst game. Like, nothing happens. Like, you have to mash buttons and hope it does what you want it to do. It is the worst game ever. It might be the worst game ever, let alone wrestling game ever. It was. Yeah,
it did come up on my list. It was. I had it set to actually bring it up because you being a giant Simpsons fan. There's a lot of random
bring it up
ones.
because it's the worst. It's the worst game ever, let alone wrestling, which makes it the worst wrestling game ever.
Well, noted. I'll never play it. Now I kind of want to a little bit just to see what it's like.
No, you don't.
Well, next week we have one of the greatest movies of all time. It stars Christopher Lloyd, The Undertaker, Hulk Hogan. That's right. Can't wait. Movie of the week next week. We got that, so much more. We'll be talking the Monday Night Wars. And, of course, Tiger Queen will still be a bitch. I guess we'll find out. Maybe we'll see if we can stable up on your account, and we'll just say, I'm here too. Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Professor. I bid you a farewell. He is ODM. It's been 2.5 hours. He's got to take a piss, and he's leaving us with 5 words.
I'm not watching Suburban Commando.
The Top of Wrestling Podcast is brought to you by The Top of Wrestling Podcast. Your hosts are the Professor, Mark Fantasia, and ODM, Joe Rizzo, with special weekly segments by Nightwing the Analyst, Rashawn Hilton. Without your continued support, it would just be some guys talking wrestling. Feel free to interact with the show on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and by email at thetopofwrestling@gmail.com.
Yo, I think I'm just a touch too high. Here we go.
You think you're what?
A touch too high.
Oh. Just don't overdose.
Yeah, well, you may have thought he was dead. You got and ate up everything in your fridge.